Magic's gathering!
Always waiting for them green days.
Yeah.
What, the green days? Yes. All right, and hello and welcome to the start of a brand new series.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Munchos, the most delicious, crunchy, and most salty chip you'll
Shut up.
ever eat. Okay. I gotta use the bathroom. Be right back.
We're arresting you.
There's no
Anyways,
such thing as munchos. I don't know.
so
I have
this
a bag right
is
here,
a
though.
thing that people have been requesting for a while. They've wanted us to do a podcast. And while we've been sort of putting it off, and we did sort of a test one a while back, and it turned out to be horrible. Yeah, it was the worst thing ever. We were deciding to try to do it live instead, as that way we have direct involvement with our audience of whoever's listening. And that way, we can do it live, and I don't have to edit a damn thing.
Which is very nice.
Yeah, which is very nice. It'll just be as
Especially-
it's almost like live radio, except there's no ads and no
Just,
music and no fun. So I hope you are ready for that.
Don't say
did-
anything very hilarious.
Yeah,
Cue
we're
the
gonna-
fart button, Brody.
Huh?
Cue the fart button.
I don't have it. I'm not
I don't have a deck yet.
Confiscated it.
Oh well, we're just starting. This is just the start. We'll see how it goes. I do want to actually, as I said, plan for this series if it ever becomes anything more than this one episode. I mean, we can have things like, I said, with it being live, we can have direct interactions with the audience. We can have things like almost like giveaways or stuff like that potentially.
We
can
could have
do
a
lot of
live
stuff.
band.
We could have a live band, maybe, or not at all.
We can
so-
have a live band.
Yeah, we can. We can get Green
The
Day.
dead band, you know?
We can get Green Day to play the Half-Life soundtrack again.
It was so cool when they did that the first
Yeah,
time.
they did that at the Game Awards. Did y'all see
they were
that?
pretty epic. They were pretty epic for doing that for us.
I'm
Yeah, why are they
too.
just
I'm
so
too tired to
cool?
come on right now. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry. Anyway, so this first episode, I was dubbing it to mod Half-Life, and the gist of it is to, obviously with a podcast, you want an overall theme with what we're discussing, and I think the theme for this one should be, well, game modding, and maybe more specifically Half-Life modding, since that's literally how we all met, and why we talk to each other now is because we all met by modifying games like
That's a
Half-Life.
lie. I didn't meet Spud by modding Half-Life. I modded him by playing. Wait, I modded him by modding what?
Well,
No,
you're-
because technically you
I
did.
met you guys because I made very bad shit posts.
yeah, but it was because you were also on our Half-Life mod Discord.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, yeah. So as I said, generally, besides we have all met and we interacted with each other because of that. That we mod this very
in
questionable
some
game.
way or another.
Yeah.
It had to do with Half-Life.
And I said, even though the game came out in '98, none of us were around for the initial burst of modding for Half-Life. All of us were young men. So a lot of
Some
us,
of us
not
weren't even
born-
alive.
yeah, some of us weren't even alive
Yeah.
when Half-Life came out and the mods started rolling. I said I played Half-Life around
yeah.
2003 or so, and I didn't even
Played Half-Life
play a mod.
2006.
I didn't even play a mod until probably 2008, 2007, 8, 9. So that was like the Orange Box era. So, and a lot of us,
Yeah.
and a lot of us believe that Half-Life had a modding resurgence with the Orange Box release. And well, ever since it's just slowly went downhill.
Hey man,
Yeah.
what's the first Half-Life mod you played?
The first Half-Life mod I played was Half-Life Visitors. That's
The first one I played was Earth Special Forces because it was the only one of the few servers up on like 1.2.
Earth Special Forces? Are you serious?
Yeah.
That was the first
Yeah.
Half-Life mod you played?
Yes.
I saw that. Well, see, that and Half-Life Rally were the first mods I saw where I was like, you can do this in Half-Life? What?
Well, Earth
Like-
Special Forces in particular is the worst introduction to Half-Life.
That's how I played Half-Life.
In the mods for the servers, like all the master servers on the 1.2 servers, because I believe 1 was down by this point, and must have installed like the unofficial patch.
Yeah.
there were servers for Half-Life, Counter-Strike, Team Fortress Classic, Deathmatch Classic. I couldn't get a download for Counter-Strike, but I noticed there was one other server that I could find out like a mod for that I could download the shit, and it was the only other mod that was running at the time, which was Earth Special Forces.
That mod. So I haven't heard about it in a bit. I have to like.
I will say the first multiplayer mod I played was actually the Specialist, and luckily I caught it right when there was still sort of like people playing it. Like there was still a few people playing it, because that was always the thing with Half-Life mods, is the multiplayer ones would usually fall off in the player base really quickly. If you know.
Yeah.
The next two mods that I played are more classics, G Invasion and Scientist Hunt.
Ah, yes.
Well, Scientist Hunt's like that one's.
Well, so, oh, sorry.
No, go.
It's a classic, yeah. The first mod I think I played, was admittedly, I think it was like, what was it even named? It was something like WTF. What the fuck? A mess up mod?
like mashup.
Yeah.
That appeared later, didn't it? Like that
was the Scientist Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, it was actually.
All the top of it.
It was because I had heard about Half-Life vaguely, but Kitty0706 I think did a video on it.
Yeah.
And it opened my eyes to doing that, because the only other mod I heard of the time was Afraid of Monsters. And I couldn't figure out how to install it at the time. Here's the thing, even as a kid, I couldn't even figure out how to pirate Gary's mod, which is insane because it's the easiest game. It's a pretty easy game to pirate, I've come to find out.
Yeah.
You know, at least older versions where, you know, you can look up Gary's Mod 10 and just get it, you know.
Even if it is a slightly satanic version of the game.
Yeah, but you know, a 10, 11, whichever one you want, you could. I was just so stupid. But so the first mod I ended up playing was What the Fuck mod, or Mess Up mod, because by then I had found out how you could do. I was like well versed enough with a computer to figure it out. And it was the first thing that came to mind.
I think after I played Scientist Hunt and G Invasion, I think I must have played Sweet Half-Life, and that must have been the first mod I installed on Steam, because the other three were back when I was still on like one. I played Earth Special Force sometime like 2006 or 05, somewhere in there. And,
I didn't even.
I would have played Scientist Hunt and G Evasion sometime like 2008, and I must have played Sweet Half-Life in like 2009.
Yeah, I didn't even play one Half-Life until years later, like because everything was on Steam already, so that's what I played it through, and I got one Half-Life. Actually, I got one Blue Shift first because it was like the time when obviously I was in middle school. I didn't have money or anything. So there was these like YouTube channels that would be like, oh, download Half-Life for free. Here's the mega upload link. And the Half-Life one, and the Half-Life upload? Yeah, and the Half-Life download was not an easy thing because it still required like a keygen and stuff like that. And Blue Shift didn't, because it was just like already pre-cracked.
Oh, someone just said Zombie Edition.
Yeah, but I played one Half-Life years later, and I was always like, I was always like, how did people deal with this? Like, who put up with this?
I got into Half-Life. I want to actually state how I got into Half-Life. We had just moved houses, so we had like right after school finished. That would have been after first grade for me. So, you know, we're now here in this new city. You know, none of the people we know are here, so what are we going to do during summer? We're going to be, like, inside playing games. You know, explore the house. So, my stepdad had, like, all of his games out, because, you know, he just moved. So, me and my brother were going through, and we found a CDR case to one of the betas of Counter-Strike, but the disc was not in it. So, we found Half-Life, and somehow we knew Half-Life was required for Counter-Strike. So we went out on this mission to find like a download link to Counter-Strike so we could play it. However, at this point, Valve had already had everyone replace their Counter-Strike downloads to just be the Steam installer. So we would just install Steam, make an account, and be like, where the fuck's Counter-Strike? So
Yeah.
out there's a fucking Steam account from 2005 to 2006 is me and my brother's, but we don't know the login information. It has no games, and it's probably been deleted at this point.
Yeah,
So my brother gave up. He went off to go play something else. But I was like, I'll check out Half-Life. And from that point forward, my life has been ruined.
Yeah. No, because I was basically, even though I played Half-Life back in like 2003, I didn't actually have a Steam account or anything. I said I played at my uncle's house because he was the one that had it. Kind of like also how I played Doom at my aunt's house, which is interesting because she was like an office manager, and it was part of that era where everybody had fucking Doom. But with Half-Life, I got my Steam account later because a friend of mine's like, "Hey, have you ever played Counter-Strike?" Because I'm trying to get like a clan together to all play Counter-Strike Source, and I'm like, yeah, isn't that like on Steam or whatever? He's like, yeah, you got to get on Steam. And I was like, oh wait, I have no money, and I can't go buy Counter-Strike at GameStop because it's rated M for mature, and my parents are going to just give me money.
You know,
He's like, oh, well, guess what? You have this thing called like Crack Steam. So my first Steam account is Crack Steam, and I abandoned. Hack. Yeah.
I had Pack.
The only thing you could ever download on that was the source games and the gold source games.
Well,
That's all that ever
you
really
still-
worked.
The thing was that unlocked the games for your account, but you still need the assets.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, I remember that exploit.
And I said
yeah.
I downloaded it, and I got Counter-Strike and everything. And yeah, I had it all on there, but obviously it doesn't work with networking because authentication's not going to be there. So I had to end up buying the game anyways, and it took my mom. I called up I had to call up like a GameStop episode and be like, "Hey, do y'all still carry Counter-Strike Source like in a physical case?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we do." And I was like, "Okay, let me head over there." And when I headed over there, like maybe like a week later, they closed down. So I had to quickly find another one and pick it up there. And my mom was annoyed that she had to like drive all over town to get fucking Counter-Strike.
She didn't ask that it was rated M.
Well, no, she wasn't worried about that. I played Doom when I was like a kid.
That's fair. I asked
Listen,
that
my parents
question that my parents didn't carry.
My parents
either.
weren't really worried about me playing games like that. Like they knew I wasn't gonna.
Also, oh sorry.
Like my dad was actually really annoyed at GameStop when I went to pick up a game that was rated M. They wouldn't let me like buy it at all, and they need him in there. He was actually like annoyed at the staff. They're like, "Why is it like I can have him in here?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can get this game," and then you're like, "You want me to have like my ID and stuff," even though I'm like his like is it? Oh god, it was that's a whole story.
Gunship
That's not
hits pretty
related,
close.
but yeah, Steam talk. Also, one thing I forgot to do, which you're supposed to do a podcast, is say who's all here. Whoops.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can see on the screen, but
Well, yeah, you see our
that's-
faces, and I have sort of a description that's not filled
You don't
out all
know
the
who
way.
the voices are from, though.
Yeah. Okay. So
All right, yeah.
so let's do this. So
our
obviously,
this audience has probably been watching us.
I
for
know,
years,
but
let's
well,
do
I
it.
know, but let's do it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's going to be
let's do it,
saved.
let's
So obviously, okay. So this is Magic Nipple speaking. I'm the one that's hosting this currently on my channel. I'm joined by, and I'll just go down the list on Discord because that's what we're talking through. We have Sergeant Headcrab.
That's me.
Yeah.
Penis.
And we. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting rid of him. All right. We're no longer featuring Sergeant Headcrab. He is removed. All right. We have, I guess, A-Main or Brandon, whatever you want to go by.
Yeah, local terrorist.
A-Main's probably the best.
The real the good squad. Then we're joined by Brian, who's mute. I think he's doing something.
I think you left to go take a piss like an hour ago.
He's on.
He
He's
fell
doing it.
in.
He's doing a quantum piss. Maybe he fell
I was
in. We all
about to
said
say,
it.
yeah, it's a
All right.
it's
Well,
a quantum piss
the
this
one
time.
the one that you can't the one that sounds like he's like 50 years old. That's Brian.
The Barry White
does
singing
sound
out.
like
The
he's
one that
50.
sounds older than all of us, but isn't.
He does sound like 50 years old.
We're also joined by John, Big John,
Yo,
Kyle
the
Jonas,
CEO.
biggest Jonas. The
Uh,
He's
CEO.
named Malevolent. He's
John,
named
just-
Malevolent. He's named Malevolent John on Twitter.
Evil bad
So-
man.
Just call me John.
There
Call
you
him
go.
John.
We're also joined by
can call me John.
Dead.
I
one
man
that
the
snorted.
guest.
And then we're joined by Spud,
Oh,
Sinister
my
Spud.
recognition.
Someone just named fucking. Someone just said I man the gas mask citizen guy.
The guy formerly known
hold on,
as
hold on.
Balls Nuts.
Hold on. We're going to start this because someone said that and now we got to talk about it. The A-main gas mask citizen is what it's called.
Yeah, Basad Iman.
Basad, yeah.
Blame the
Is that because of the mega patch or whatever it was? Where it's like, hey, we all worked on this model, and they went, it's too late. It's only him.
I said to credit everybody. I listed off everybody to him, and he said okay. And then the credits just says Basad Iman.
It's not even right. It's not even right. It's not even right.
Yeah, me, Brandon, and Magic all worked on it together.
Yeah, I did the waiting and stuff. Oh yeah, that's Brian. See that man.
There's Brian.
Yeah. Brian's here.
Yeah, we never did introductions, which is a thing you're supposed to do, so people know who the fuck's talking. Whoops. I said we'll figure out this podcast thing.
I just can't believe I forgot all about that. How now it's just still known as the A-main or I-man.
Based on,
I guess.
But then Epic Player One decided to take the model, slightly reform the head into like an egg shape, and now everybody just refers to it as his gas mask citizen. So.
That is the unfortunate tale. The gas mask citizens is just people just keep fucking like. I would almost consider it rape at this point. And they just put their name on it.
He didn't ask for it. That gas mask citizen did not ask to get his head reshaped.
None of the gas mask citizens asked to have all what's been done to them done.
That's true.
All of it. They have not consented to their existence.
There was no consent in that.
They wanted to stay lost on the repo. Getting back to modding. So we all talked about sort of a.
I want to talk about my pack Steam story.
Okay, talk about it real quick. I mean, that's
real quick.
I haven't even been able to talk about myself.
Give everyone a fucking minute. God damn.
Back in 2008, when sometime after Portal came out, I really wanted to go play like Portal, Half-Life 2, and like Gmod. But I didn't have money and I didn't know what the fuck a Steam was beyond the Counter-Strike incident. So I'm just like looking around. There's all these videos about pack Steam. I'm just like, oh fuck, you can get all these games for free on Steam by just modifying the client. All right. So I went to the official Steam site.
It's true.
Disregard all the like rules of pack Steam and how you're actually supposed to get it, because you're supposed to get their cracked installer and they make like a fake account. I was just like, nah, I'm gonna go to the real Steam site and go make an account and get the proper installer. And then I'm with an empty Steam account. I'm just like, okay, well, how do I pack Steam? And I look at it, I'm just like, fuck, I fucked it up. Oh well. So a month later, I ended up getting Half-Life 2 for my birthday. Couldn't remember my login for that account, so I made it another account, and that's the account I currently use.
Wow.
Yeah, so my original Steam account would be 1 year older than my current one, but I did not want to potentially have like back bans or permanent bans, so I just abandoned that account. I don't even have it as a friend. I don't even remember what it was called anymore, because it was before I even used like AMD 889. Like I didn't even give it that name because I was just like, I don't want association with something that might come back to bite me in the ass. Surprisingly, really well thought out for a kid. I would not have put that much effort into anything else. Any other interesting stories about how they got into Half-Life, I guess?
Funny story about how I got into Half-Life.
Okay.
So, like I was into Gary's mod and everything. But my friend said, hey, do you know what... Like, I knew about Half-Life 2. He was like, hey, have you seen the first Half-Life? And I was like, not really. So he started playing it. Here's the thing. For years, I thought Half-Life, the original Half-Life, was a technical marvel. And while it was at the time, it was because he showed me Half-Life Source. So I thought this game from 98 had physics and water shaders and everything and like HD lighting, and I was like, holy shit, they made a technical, this is like what, like 3 years after Doom, holy fuck. And I was like, I couldn't believe it, and then I played the actual game and it was like, oh
yeah.
Okay.
I remember
never mind.
I remember just real quick my first experience with Half-Life Source, because that just sort of reminded me of it. During that whole phase of pirating games and stuff, because I was poor, I saw Half-Life Source existed, and I remember with Pack Steam, Half-Life Source actually didn't work with the one I had. It wouldn't, give me the files. It would do that like downloading and always stay at 0%.
It would have been a good thing that it didn't.
Yeah, I know. In hindsight, it was a good thing. But me being my little pirate, I found the Digital Zone release of Half-Life Source, but I found Half-Life Source Deathmatch for free as well. And everybody knows Half-Life Source Deathmatch is even fucking worse. And
That's
I downloaded
my favorite game.
And I downloaded that one first. And I'm talking about I had a card that I think was a GT 330, an Nvidia 330. Like it was really like Cry of Fear made it lag. That's how bad it was.
Right.
I downloaded Deathmatch Source, hoping like, I can play like Deathmatch, which I really enjoyed, with like the Source benefits. Okay, perfect. And I installed it, and I went to play it, and it literally like just bricked my computer. Like it had a frame rate of
fucking maniac
in 640 by 480 windowed on the lowest settings. I had a frame rate of like 2. Or
you won't be able to see it. You won't be able to see it, but I just need to remind everyone
that Dead has
fucking...
I posted in chat.
Okay,
I know, but
we'll say it in case this podcast ever goes anywhere. Dead has accumulated 773 hours on record for Half-Life Deathmatch Source.
I do want to add, it's actually more because hours before 2009 were not tracked.
Yeah, they were not.
Has anyone even played Half-Life Deathmatch Source that much?
Have you played it currently?
Yeah.
You should. It's like Valve charges money for it. Valve charges money for it still. That's all I have to say.
It's amazing.
People who have more hours Deathmatch Source.
We should stream it actually, like at some point. We should how terrible that is.
Somebody else was talking.
Not now.
There's so many videos now, like with people following the trend, talking about how broken Half-Life Source is and all that good stuff, but they never mention Deathmatch Source. Even though it's like a trillion times worse than actual Half-Life Source.
What, Dead? Remind me. There was a point where you couldn't even play it because when they updated the game, the files were
they forgot the skill config. That was it.
Yes. Yeah. One update they forgot to ship the skill configs, and this was like a security patch too. So the game wouldn't function anymore, and it stayed like that for a few weeks until I went onto the forums like, "Yo, you forgot the skill files."
God, that reminds me. That almost reminds me of when Half-Life 2 first got Mac support. The game didn't boot on Windows. Like it was broken for. It was broken for like one day at least. It may have been longer.
Those who were able to run it was like a fucking broken mess because all the shaders were busted.
Yeah, I couldn't run it. It was just there was an infamous time period called HL2.exe has crashed, which it would always crash when you closed it or opened it.
Yep.
I like what Gunship had to say. My first experience with HL2 was in an internet cafe, which had a pirated version of HL2, which was also broken.
And had AI disabled curse.
What the fuck? God. AI disabled?
Internet cafes. I remember seeing like a few of those. There was a time when the Burger King in my area had computers and was an internet cafe.
Could you believe that? I remember fucking internet cafes.
Me and my friend went in there when we were like hanging out one day, and we were just like we were just astonished. They had like no security measures or blocks.
Yeah, half of them. Any internet cafe computer in the close to 2000s era had pirated games on it all the time. They were just hidden.
Any ideas why? What, John?
I remember one day I went to this internet cafe and I had a USB stick with me, and I installed the that fucking Half-Life no Steam fucking thing onto it.
Did I? Oh my god!
This was like back in 2010 or something. I was an actual infant.
I was
like,
our high school had a Halo on it, and it was there all 4 years I was in high school, and it was there when my little brother was there.
I was gonna mention that earlier. I remember the school computer having Halo on it. Combat Evolved.
I don't think the teachers wanted to take it down. I think they just left it be there because
you have USB with Half-Life.
I had a portable USB drive with Counter-Strike 1.6 that had the CSS weapons on it for some reason.
The coolest people had games with USBs on them.
Yeah, I would put that shit in and play it.
I'll be honest, I wasn't one of those people.
Cool people had Halo and stuff on it. You want to know what was on my USB?
What?
The Half-Life Alpha build.
Really?
I legit.
I I will
I
say,
legit brought the alpha build to school
I'm not
with
gonna
me.
lie, I did
to
the
play
same
it.
thing.
To play it at school, I brought it on a USB, and I was just because it just had released, and I was in school every day though, so I needed more time to play it, so I just played it at school.
I will say this real quick that in high school, my programming teacher for my introduction to programming, he liked Counter-Strike and stuff, but he didn't want people like obviously playing games on the computer all that often. But during like the the final like few weeks and when everybody's doing finals, that class didn't have anything. We were just fucking around. He said I could bring whatever game I wanted and like we could have like a LAN party. If I brought my Nintendo with Tecmo Bowl, because that was like the game he wanted to play. Because I told him I had Tecmo Bowl still. So me and him played Tecmo Bowl, and then our whole class like had a Counter-Strike like LAN party.
That's fucking
It was probably the
wild.
most amount of people I've ever
Once had
like. It was great.
I once put Fear, like the demo for Fear, on a USB and brought it to school, and it didn't even run at like 640 by 480. I had to put it down to like 400 by whatever.
Yeah.
There was this
Like
There was
all low, and it
visible
barely
to the
ran
human
like
eye.
20 FPS.
unrelated to Half-Life, but I had a friend who we did a like at my years of high school, we had a tech help desk where we had to help because we had iPads at this point because they needed kids to have laptops or something. And this kid had Doom with several custom mods, Hexen, Heretic, all this shit. And the weirdest thing, this collection he got with all these on a USB had UAC labs on it, which is the Eric Harris WAD.
Oh.
And it was so weird because then we started. He didn't know what that was, and I explained to him, "Holy shit, I got something to tell you." When I saw UAC labs in the file directory, I can't believe we were playing Doom while we were supposed to be helping people with iPads. That kid was cool. I missed him. I hadn't seen him for years.
There was I remember in my in that same programming class, there was a day we were like doing like people that were done early were helping like other students with their programming stuff, and we had like a web client where we could send like Insta messages to everybody, like text messages, and it was the whole class could see the whole class's messages. It was and we were just helping people out, and I was bored, so I went to a website and I got the ASCII Hank Hill and I just sent it through. and then after I did that, the whole class just started getting ASCII art and sending it through the class. And our teacher's like, "What are y'all doing? Why is there Hank Hill on the like? We're like you're supposed to be working."
Do you guys remember the fucking ASCII Hank Hill that we would send through Hangouts that was fucked up because it couldn't fit?
Yeah, Spud drew it, didn't he?
It couldn't fit, so he looked like he had sunglasses on.
Spud drew that.
Spud did drew it.
Sadly,
I did draw it. I remember it, but that's in a
I don't know where it is.
somewhere in hell.
Jesus.
We should probably get back to Half-Life.
Maybe,
Modding.
I said we can. So what we talked about sort of introductions to Half-Life and our first mods.
Actually, before we go back to Half-Life,
I didn't.
Oh, Brian didn't.
Oh yeah, Brian did. Yeah. So I forgot because Brian was taking he was quantum pissing.
A quantum piss. Yeah.
Quantum pissing.
Okay. Okay. All right, Brian. We know what you do.
What?
You quantum piss. Now tell us, how did you meet Half-Life?
It was only 1 minute for you, but it was 1 hour for us.
Okay. All right.
Damn it.
I just remember the first time I saw Half-Life, I was just like a small child watching my dad play it on the computer, and he was fighting Nihilith, and just the sprites floating around Nihilith was just so beautiful to me.
That's.
I mean, at first sight, the Nihilith is really something. Nobody's gonna be able to see that unless somebody screencasts it.
That is so much worse than how it looked.
It's not even close. That looks like that looks like a weird SpongeBob or something.
For reference, Big John posted an ASCII Hank Hill, but it broke even worse than how it.
I don't think it was exactly like that.
This is horrible.
We're all laughing at a thing nobody could see.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, Teddy.
Hey, Anybody else? Anybody else have a Half-Life story before we try to
the emotes?
Okay, well, hang on.
did you finish?
So yeah, I wasn't even spooked by Nihil. I was just mesmerized by all the sprites and the crystals on the walls. It's just beautiful.
You had a TED moment. Yeah. You were entranced.
Well, as I said though, when I first saw like Half-Life, it was still like on a CRT, and yeah, when you see like the alien stuff, like when you're a kid and there's still like the imagination, like you don't see. I didn't see Half-Life as maps and models and sprite. I saw it as like an actual world. How you're supposed to. Well, so I mean,
how you're supposed to.
Well, that's what Valve wanted you to, but obviously, when you that's something we should talk about with this subject. Is when you work on the game, you notice more and more of the flaws.
Working on Half-Life ruins Half-Life.
It really. I feel like it almost does it to any game because you just notice all the flaws.
That's why we're so jaded to it because
that's why I make like horrible takes on Twitter about Half-Life, and I just don't care when I say it.
My introduction to Steam and everything, I had a very late start. I started in like 2010, and it's because somehow I would watch Gary's Mod videos on YouTube without having any idea what Gary's Mod was.
I had that though at first. I knew about people did that, CSS first. Anyways.
Yeah, CSS. But I got the orange box for, I think, Christmas in like 2010 and made a Steam account. Called it Scroat Sack because my dad... I couldn't figure out how to make it because I didn't know how much about computers at that point.
Just throws the name out there. That's Sack.
The account name was Scroat Sack.
That's even better.
I got Gmod, made some funny poses. But eventually, like really quickly, I learned about Half-Life 2 beta. Like, before I probably even beat Half-Life 2.
Gmod is a bad introduction to that world.
Through that, I met Dead and Alex.
Ironically, I found out about the Half-Life 2 beta via Gmod as well.
I think a lot of people did because it was.
I didn't have Half-Life 2 Deathmatch at the time because I never did the ATI or NVIDIA's special thing you get that game with.
Yeah.
So you had the beta stun stick because that was still in the Half-Life 2 files, and I was like, "That's different. Doesn't look right." So I went on a tangent to figure out what the fuck this was, and then I realized, oh shit, the game was different. What the fuck?
Yeah. For me, and like finding out about HL2's beta, a little detour because it is fun. So I was like already kind of a very like into beta kind of thing. I already like thought beta stuff was cool because as a young kid, I modded Mario 64. Before I even played Steam, before I even played Half-Life, I played Project 64 like Mario 64. And back then, because modding was not very good for Mario 64, mostly people made Mario 64 beta mods because it was pretty easy to do. A lot of the elements of Mario 64's beta were like visual. Pardon me. So it was super easy to mod it like that. So that's what I mostly did. But I didn't play Gmod yet. I watched Gmod, and I heard someone say something about like some video mentioned trivia about Gmod because that's something I loved even as a kid. And it mentioned how the fizz gun and a lot of the weapons were like from Half-Life 2 beta, which isn't correct technically, but it kind of is.
Just the fizz gun.
Just the fizz gun. It said a lot of weapons were. It was a fucking video back in like 2010 about Gmod trivia, so half of it was probably bullshit. But yeah, and then I looked at it, I was like, oh, beta, Half-Life 2 beta? I've heard about Half-Life 2. I didn't even like the game. I actually hated it as a kid, believe it or not.
I do want to state that I've known about Half-Life's beta, or at least alpha, for a long, long time. But as a kid, you don't know how to fucking read.
Yeah, no.
Looking at cool screenshots on a Hellfire disc, because I had Hellfire, because I played Diablo and Diablo 2 when I was little. And only when I got into the Half-Life 1 beta, I went like, I recognize that shit, but I don't know where. I'm looking back at like my old games. I'm playing or not playing Hellfire. I'm looking at Hellfire, and I see an ad to Half-Life on the back of it. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm popping in, and there's fucking preliminary findings, and that's where I recognize the damn screenshots from.
So the first thing that got me like to make any mod was obviously beta, because that's what most of us had, and mine was because I said I knew about Counter-Strike Source, and I found out about Gmod actually a little bit later by like YouTube videos. You just see all these videos, you're like, what the hell is this? And then you're like, oh, Gary's mod that runs in Source. Oh, okay. But the Half-Life beta, I didn't have any content CDs that had it or anything. I didn't really think about it. But randomly on YouTube, I saw a video because I was watching Half-Life videos, and there was one that's just like that. It was just that one that's still up to date that I think just says Half-Life early trailer, which is just the in-deep findings trailer introduction before the interviews. And I saw that, and I'm just like, what? This game looks nothing like Half-Life. Like, what the fuck happened? And that's what and that's what got me interested. Now, obviously, years later, we realized, even though there's a lot of areas that are different, much of Half-Life's, like, you look at the screenshots, you're like, where is this at? What? This is so different. And then you realize it's not all that different.
Not really that different.
There's a few unique areas, but it's...
The pre-rewrite's pretty different.
Yeah.
But
there's differences, but it's not as different as you thought. But as a kid, I was just like, this game's like completely different. Like this, it's not even like...
Sorry.
What happened? And that's what took off. And then I made really horrible beta mods.
And also, Half-Life 2, Half-Life's pre-rewrite, content wasn't too public as it is now. We didn't know as much about that back then. Those were some of the most mysterious screenshots because, first of all, half of us were really stupid kids who couldn't even make out half of it. So we kind of like that. That's why things like hostile scientists are like rumors or some shit, or like the blue head crab got actually made. It's because we were too dumb to understand what we were really looking at. So, like, but yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm back.
It's all good.
I interrupted during my awesome story.
Yeah, do you want to continue still, or?
Well, basically, I met people like Dead and Alex from YouTube videos, like Half-Life 2 beta weapons skins.
Brandon, remember how I fucking talked to you probably back like 2011 trying to get your beta zombie?
Yeah, that's extremely cursed. I met Brian before like all of you. We made Half-Life skins together.
Yep.
But before that, on Brody's Half-Life beta mod, we would message each other on ModDB talking about how we wanted your models, and you would give us really strange responses.
I was really actually too stupid to understand what you guys were asking, so I was like, thank you. Yes, I remember you gotta understand, I was so stupid. I tried to edit Half-Life 1 maps in Sourcehammer.
Yeah,
I was.
That's how that works.
And to try to make the beta test chamber, I just started deleting parts of it because in my mind, the beta test chamber was just missing the top part, and that was it.
That's what that screenshot. So yeah, that's what that was.
I thought I just had to delete all of the mass spectrometer. I just thought I had to delete the top part of it. And just leave the fucking thing in the ground. And I was like, that'll be the beta. Yeah. And of course, it didn't compile.
I couldn't imagine why.
That'll be the beta.
That's it. That's what we were looking for.
So imagine me trying to... imagine that pea brain of a person trying to respond to people over ModDB messages.
I guess I've never told my initial encounter with Half-Life.
Yeah.
I was actually pretty late into it. So, when I was a kid, I was a big fan of Robot Wars. And I watched a bunch of videos on YouTube because they just had fights and episodes and stuff. And then I came across this video called Gmod Robot Wars, and I was like, what is this? And the video was in Gmod 9. It had Gary's Mod on Wheels, It had the dump truck and the semi with a carousel and stuff tethered onto it, and it was spinning around, flowing manically.
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "What is this game?" Because I really like the idea of there like being a robot combat game, even though that's not what Gary's Mod really is.
Could be though if you really tried.
That people have definitely tried. There is like a Robot Wars map and stuff, but I didn't really get. I think I did pirate Gmod with Paxine, but I didn't really get into it. And for Christmas in 2007, I had gotten the orange box, and I didn't even want it because of Half-Life. I didn't care about Half-Life. I wanted Portal.
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, is that I don't think my parents really cared about me playing violent games, but the thing is that I was afraid to play violent games. I was afraid they'd be too scary.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I think Half-Life actually
2
was
to
my...
babies is. I mean, it has spooky elements at least the
Ravenholm.
first time
Oh
around.
my god! I
just remembered something. Yeah, I tried to install Gary's Mod 9 by playing and trying to install the Half-Life 2 demo, thinking that would work. And the Half-Life 2 demo is kind of strange because it's like the first half of the train station map. Then you get to the hotel and it just transitions into Ravenholm with no warning.
Oh, Ravenholm scared the fuck out of me as a kid, man. The poison. My friend showed me the poison head crabs, and I fucking wouldn't play Half-Life 2.
You know,
I was.
You know what's interesting with all the
Poison
demos?
zombies scared me the
What's
most.
interesting with the demos things is you guys remember with like the ATI card thing with you could get like Portal the first slice and stuff, and it was basically they never really checked to see if you had the card. It just let you download it if you went to the
I remember that with Half-Life 2 DM. That's how I got it.
I had a thing where when I still had that really shitty computer, I was like, I have my Steam account and I have Counter-Strike Source, but I don't have Portal. And so I got Portal the first slice and stuff like that. And I installed it. I'm like, well, I can't run it, but I have it.
Yeah.
And I just stared. And I never played the first slice because then Portal became free for a day, like permanent free, and that's how I got it.
You know,
hang on, real quick. Y'all keep talking. I got to check on the dog.
Okay, go on.
So I guess Half-Life was technically my first FPS.
This fucking game, this video, the fucking modded Glock, the magazine doesn't even come out. There's no.
Oh, it's so realistic. Honestly, I wish we could play this on the stream. Just really gives you or maybe not, but it gives you insight.
Another thing's like, my dad was like, hey, maybe you should try some of those other games because, like Orange Box, it's got like the Half-Life game, it's got and Team Fortress was really weird for me because at the time, an online multiplayer game was an entirely foreign concept to me. I didn't even know the thing existed. And I think my first TF2 match ever was on DM Duel.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't play Team Fortress up until like a year after I got the orange box, and I had no idea what the game was at all. I have like a vague memory of walking around the manor map, like the event manor, whatever it's called, Mountain Lab, and just being like so brain dead to what the game was. So I just stopped playing it up until like 2012 or 13, where I actually realized like, oh hey, this is a really cool game.
I actually picked up on. I actually picked. Oh, sorry.
My first experience with TF2 was before I got the orange box. Because ironically, before I had the orange box, I had already got Half-Life 2. I got that for my birthday, and eventually I got Portal on its own. Because that and Gmod were the games I wanted. And then during one of the milestone updates in like 2008, I believe, or 09, early 09, TF2 was like had a free weekend. And I'm like, ah, shit, I should check that out. I really like Team Fortress Classic. So I install it. I don't remember what maps I was playing, but I really fucking loved the game. I got grounded for it because I wasn't allowed to install it because I had to get permission to install anything. So I got grounded, but whatever. Eventually, I mustered up enough money to go get TF2 on the orange box. So I ended up getting like the episodes in TF2 with that. And I didn't have a GPU at the time because I had just upgraded from Pentium 4 with AGP graphics to an AMD with PCIe, so I couldn't transfer over my GPU. So I was just using like the onboard chipset, which fucking sucked. I bet I was playing TF2 at like 10 to 15 FPS on low.
Jesus.
So, like,
I
so I
remember
was
playing.
just saving up money, tons of money throughout, not throughout the year, but like throughout 2009 until like I think around Christmas or so, I had enough money to buy myself a new GPU. And so I got that GPU, and I was able to play TF2 on high graphics, like the very
Holy
highest
crap.
settings, at like a great FPS.
I remember. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
So when I got Half-Life, kind of came with the orange box because or it didn't come with it, but like my time playing it because my friend. The only reason I knew about Half-Life was Gary's mod, and when I knew about Gary's mod, I knew about TF2 because obviously first thing I watched of Gary's mod was Idiots of Gary's mod, and in the second one I think is TF2, or maybe even in the first one, I don't recall.
I'm pretty sure
I
there
think
were
it's
some
the
TF2
second.
clips in the first one.
But either way, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. Either way, so I played TF2, and for some reason, despite me being actually like stupid, beyond stupid, I was able to play TF2 really well. Let's be honest, really competently. For me was like being able to actually play the game. I think I just ran around as a medic with the syringe gun, and because TF2 was so new, because it was orange box, people didn't know what to do when they saw that. So I would kill them with the syringe gun because they were one, everyone had a controller, and two, they were so confused by that sight that I would end up killing a lot of people with the syringe gun as medic. So I got introduced to TF2 pretty early. Probably played it before Half-Life and even Gary's mod, because turns that's a whole different story. The only reason I won an orange box was so as I could get Gmod without having to tell my mom I had it, because my mom wouldn't let me have it because he saw a video where a dinosaur said titty and said
Yeah,
I couldn't,
that's the
and said I
reason.
couldn't play it. My mom, she's a great mother, wonderful mother, but she grounded me for looking at an image with the WTF on it.
Damn.
So she was very stern about the internet, which is fine because you kind of have to be at that,
See,
you know.
I remember with TF2 and TSC, I learned about TF2 from YouTube as well with the Chuck Bronson CPF compilation videos when he still had his channel up.
Yeah, let's talk about old Gmod videos you've seen.
Yeah, and that led into me, like obviously the Gmod scene I already was like figuring out about. Then I saw like TF2 stuff obviously through Gmod videos. I'm like, what is this? Why does it look so different from TFC? And I never picked it up and played it until it became free to play.
I figured out Gmod via Portal because someone had ported over the Portal gun to Gmod. And then I found out about Gmod. I'm like, what the fuck? This shit's insane.
Oh yeah, man. It's the most exciting game ever, really, I think, as a kid. Sorry.
I got into Team Fortress 2 from well, I got the orange box, but that's how I initially got into it. But I was always big into Counter-Strike Source and playing zombies and surf maps. So as soon as I got the orange box, I installed Team Fortress 2, but I wasn't too interested in it. But later on, when I did get into it, the first thing I did was go into a surf map.
Yeah.
Playing on surf maps.
Yeah. What was Big John gonna say? He was close to crying. You can't talk. He was forced to eat cement when he was 6.
My first experience with like Gmod and shit like that was like some YouTube videos. I thought it was like The Sims or something. and I was just some fucking three fucking image slideshow. That was like the first Gmod video I ever saw, and I thought, this is weird. I already knew about Half-Life 1 though. I had that for quite a while.
We'll never.
I have
find
no
it.
idea what the title was, but I remember Sonic was on it, and I was in like a purple town.
Oh yeah.
And
Nightmare.
like when I ended up, searching more into this, I discovered that it was called Gary's Mod, and that it was a mod for Half-Life 2. Like I never heard of Half-Life 2 before this. I was like, what the fuck? It was a sequel? I was like 9 or 8 at this point, so
everyone here, raise your hands if you thought Gary's mod was supposed to be the G. If Gary in Gary's mod was the G-Man.
What?
I did.
I don't remember.
I always
When I was
assumed
a
Gary.
kid,
brain did
I
that.
mean, I immediately was just like, Gary's mod must be made by a guy called Gary.
When I saw it, because G-Man was like the face of Gary's mod, like that dumb face. He was almost the face of Gary's mod.
This is his creation.
I thought that he was supposed to be, because I didn't know about Half-Life at this point, mind you. I thought that character was Gary.
Discovering Gmod before you discover Half-Life 2 is a weird experience.
Because
that's how it happened for me. I watched videos on YouTube and was like, wow, this game is insanely weird and interesting.
Why is everything so scary?
I assumed he had to be Gary Man, basically.
I have 2 stories I want to state.
Yeah.
In relation to Big John's, like, he thought Gmod was like a Sims thing. This is unrelated to Gary's mod, but like during early YouTube, so like 06, 07, I would watch like gaming videos on there, just whatever was up. And, like, I saw videos of the movies, and I had no fucking idea what the movies were, and I thought it was like either a Sims-like game or like a Sims mod. And I always wanted to try out the movies. Still have never tried it out, because the copy I ended up getting doesn't have disc 1 or something. So I still can't play it. But secondly, my first introduction to Source was before I even knew about Half-Life or Half-Life 2. And I never saw the game, but my mom owned it. Which was fucking Vampires the Masquerade Bloodlines.
The fuck?
Which is a Source engine game.
Yeah, it is.
That was my first connection to the Source engine before Half-Life 2, before I played Half-Life.
I've still never played.
Not me neither.
Vampire the Masquerade or Dark Messiah, and I want to play both of them.
I got Vampire the Masquerade, but I haven't played it yet.
I remember no laughing that like last year for like a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I pirated it, and I was like, well, I gotta try this out because I've heard some good shit about it. So it's pretty good. Man. Not gonna lie there. It's definitely weird, and it screams of like early 2000s, but yeah, it's pretty good.
So, kind of just because I'm curious to talk about it, because we talked about Half-Life and just how we got into it and that stuff. Like how, so, I don't know about all of us, but I knew, it's been said a lot of us got into it because of beta, like modding Half-Life.
Yeah.
Remember on Gary'sMod.org.
Yeah. Enough, I never really got into the beta stuff until like 2013.
I'm pretty sure I got so quick.
Yeah,
I get into the beta stuff from Brandon on ModDB.
That was about the time, though. 2012 to 2013
I'm so sorry.
You hurt me.
2012 to 2013 was like the new age of it, because before that there was just Quiver and
waiting.
Oh, this mod looks so good. I can't freaking wait.
Holy shit.
Oh, 13 years later.
The novel you could write about Quiver is just, holy shit.
I don't want to talk about it. It's too long of a story.
Weirdly enough,
no, it really is.
I was surprised that, like, I keep on seeing stuff about the Half-Life Alpha, and I was like, what is this? Is this like a new Half-Life game?
Yeah.
And no, it just turned out to be the beta, and I was like, wow, this is so cool and weird. Yo,
it's
the
like
Barney,
a game from
he looks so
another world.
strange. He's like on crack.
Oh, he's just so insane.
I had already, oh, sorry. I had already known, or I'd already been like super into beta stuff, so like it was pretty easy for me to get into
Like
Half-Life Beta.
the first thing I was doing, well, I went on ModDB because I was like really interested in game mods and whatnot. I wanted to see some mods for Half-Life. I was like, wow, mods are so cool, and look at all these people making like reskins. I want to do that. So I got Wally, and I was the first thing I started was a Hellraiser Cenobite skin for the scientists. I wish I could find that, but
That thing's
that must have been evil looking.
it's gone forever. Made in Wally, but yeah.
Made in Wally, so you know it had to be good.
Made in
I saw-
TM.
I saw Gunship mention in the chat Lost Coast. That was the weirdest thing to me as a kid, like absolutely insane. Because I finished Half-Life 2 in the episodes and was like, wow, those were great, but what is this in my library? What is Lost Coast?
Yeah,
What does this have to do with anything?
I always
And
thought
I
of
was just so confused when I booted it up and was like, this is actually more Half-Life 2. What is this? Where am I?
I always thought it was more. I always thought it was just like Uplink or something. Where I was like, oh, I guess it's like the demo of the game. It's just a demo.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know why.
It is kind of like a demo, but like for engine stuff.
I
Yeah.
remember being really sad when it was over. Like, I loved the church or whatever, and then you blow up the helicopter, and it just fades out, and I was like, no, this
Yeah,
can't be.
I was
No.
when it faded out. I'm
This
like,
can't be.
when it faded out, I was like, that's it.
It only just began.
Yeah. It's not even one chapter. What? Why?
Oh man. Yeah.
It did look
Also,
nice though. Honestly,
I
I'll give
discovered
it to them.
Quake through Half-Life.
Oh, wow, really? I knew about
Yeah,
Quake before all that.
Yeah.
I knew about Quake
I wanna
before
ask-
Half-Life.
But like,
I'll be honest. I still
was
have
playing,
no
I was
idea
playing
how I came
Half-Life,
about
and I
Quake.
saw,
Yeah.
like, I knew about Doom, right? And I was
yeah,
looking at
everyone
like
did.
all these other games that, and I was looking at all these other games that fucking id Software made. I saw Quake. I saw gameplay of it, and I saw the view. I initially hated Quake. I initially really hated it. I was like 8. I was a baby little young man, stupid idiot.
Stupid.
And I was like, no, this can't be! Literally, word to word, when I saw Quake, and then I saw Deathmatch Classic. Oh,
I have some.
this can't be possible! Oh, I hate Quake!
I have a stupid analyst story to admit.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason I
But
I
nowadays,
bought
it's
Quake
like-
was because on ModDB, the guys on crew were screwing off the page, and they made the game requirement Quake 1. So I was like, I guess I'll just buy Quake 1 then.
This is so sad.
I mean, I like Quake 1.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, yeah, it's
that's
a
the
good
one benefit of it.
Yeah.
I think Quake was actually my first game I played with my sister.
Huh. Interesting.
I took turns playing on the computer with my sister, and yeah, each time we just died like a zombie or a shambler or something.
Yeah.
So I want to ask everyone a question. What was your entry point for modding? Because this is technically what the stream's about. Is
Yeah,
modding.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
We should
already said
really
that.
try
Yeah,
to
I
get
said
into
what-
it a little bit.
I guess,
It was funny Half-Life Alpha reskins.
Yeah.
I still can't.
Weirdly
like,
enough,
Did you want to talk about
sorry.
RoboClan?
Oh,
No, we're not talking about RoboClan.
Okay.
my first introduction to Half-Life modding, actually, like you'd think it was beta. It wasn't. My first introduction to Half-Life modding, like Gold Source modding, yes, was Alpha Life, my terrible Half-Life beta mod that you can't actually even find anymore because I reskinned the page to be a different mod. Not because I wanted to get rid of it, just because I was stupid. My first introduction was trying to turn Half-Life Source into, I think, Black Mesa. I would download every HD fucking add-on for Half-Life Source. I was so determined to make Half-Life Source look like Black Mesa because all I wanted to do was play Black Mesa.
I think I did that too.
I mean, my first thing was always like, Half-Life Redux and beta mods.
I forgot you made Half-Life Redux. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah, it
I
was
played-
horrible.
I played so much Half-Life Redux though. You
It was
don't
horrible,
understand.
Yeah.
I
It's
was.
horrible.
I think anyone who played Half-Life at one point, or at least
yeah,
a
it
lot
got
of people who
featured.
modded.
It got featured and pissed off everybody. That was like
I think,
already in
I
Half-Life.
think a good chunk of people who modded Half-Life went through the phase where they wanted it to be HD.
Yeah, no. If you go on like different forums, like old Half-Life forums from like 2009 and 10 and 11, there's a lot of threads about Half-Life Redux. Like a lot of people were just talking about it. A lot of them
probably
were
your most
not.
popular videos too.
Yeah, it wasn't even. They weren't talking really great about it, but they were talking about it.
Jesus, Ted, do you
you ever-
remember? Oh, sorry.
You
Go on,
ever?
Ted.
I remember as a kid, you ever like go on the FPS banana and download as many stupid skins as possible?
Yeah,
Yes.
all- everybody.
Yes,
I did that.
I did it. I did it in Half-Life. I did it in TF2. I did it in any game I could. I played Tron
A normal
Fortress.
game of
in
Left
TF2.
4 Dead.
Yeah. Tron Fortress. Does anyone remember Tron
Yes,
Fortress?
yes.
I kind of-
Dumbest fucking mod ever, but I would play with it all the time. It was an eyesore, but I was so like bewildered by the fact that it was a thing.
Brandon, do you remember the Phil Collins heavy reskin I did?
I have not heard of that.
Yeah, and I remember you putting cosmetics on your heavy to make him look like Phil Collins.
Yeah.
I want to be like Phil Collins so much.
Why not?
Listen,
wanted to make
our
the Phil Collins
TF2
heavy.
days were weird. Me and Brian, we played Team Fortress 2 beta. The beta
Oh.
branch on Steam, where the item
Yeah.
test branch,
Yep.
we would
Yes,
go on
yeah.
orange servers and just use TF2 beta skins. Like, wow, we're actually playing the beta right now. This is crazy.
I only played played the TF2 beta so much even after it was like literally like because I think they kept it up, but like for a long time it was up. It wasn't actually really being used because they only used it for a little bit. But I would play it because I assumed it was like a beta version of the game. But as it turns out, it's pretty much the same version of the game.
That's with new
But-
items with.
Yeah, but it had Saxon Hale and stuff, and I was like, "What? No way! There's no way they had Saxon Hale in the beta."
Yeah.
So I would
So
just play Saxon Hale because I
Towards
thought
the
that was
end-
crazy.
Towards the end of the time of me playing TF2 actively, I got so sick of like the TF2 community at the time that I just left to go play the beta branch of it.
Yeah,
Playing it.
that's
I
what
was
you could
able to enjoy
do.
TF2
They were.
by playing that.
That's what you could do. Yeah,
The beta branch was really weird, though.
it was cursed. I don't remember why it was so cursed, but
I
I
remember
remember it
the-
being very cursed.
I know item
I
drop
remember
rates
the
were
asteroid
different.
map.
I remember
Yeah.
the beta branch for Counter-Strike happened at the same time where it was like, and they accidentally overwrote the main branch too. So Counter-Strike, yeah, it got rid of the ragdolls and made everything have the surrender animations.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
because they were introducing that new kill cam thing where it would zoom in on the person that killed you. It
Yep.
actually wasn't in Counter-Strike at first, or
Yeah.
Counter-Strike Source. And yeah, when they made that beta branch for Counter-Strike Source, they were adding that stuff, but for some reason they had the like anti-violence stuff on by default.
Yep.
Yeah.
Funny shit. Surrender animations.
Yeah.
But I do want to say how I got into modding in general.
Yeah. Go
So
ahead.
Yeah.
before I modded Half-Life, I actually, like Brody, I think I relatively started out in Super Mario 64 just with the little
Mhm.
program where you can inject textures.
Toad's
So it just
tool.
makes-
Toad's tool.
Probably. So I would mod that, and then eventually I moved on to Halo Combat Evolved, just doing texture stuff. And then eventually, before I did Half-Life beta mods, I modded Half-Life 2 really shittily. It was just, let's go into various sites and download a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I
That's how you
made
do
like
it.
Combine Life.
Yep.
And
That's what everyone did as a kid.
And then eventually I made my own deathmatch mod, and that sucked. And then I ended up making the beta mod I worked on for 10 years.
Also, yes, Simon. Magic made Half-Life Redux.
Yeah, it was horrible. It ran on 3 different code bases that were all not mine. The first one was a friend of mine that added just random like GL shit from a mech mod, and that release even had random assets from like whatever shit he was doing. So it wasn't even good. The second one was just a range mode when it became arrangement, and that barely functioned right. The third one was just Trinity renderers.
Trinity.
And that's where it ended.
That's an evil game mod thing, whatever you want to call it, Trinity renders.
Yeah, it is.
I worked on version 3 as well, I believe, because we were working together on various things.
Remember when you
Remember
when you fucking posted or when you streamed the Dreamcast version?
Oh yeah.
I streamed one of them because I was going through the various discs. I was playing the uplink one. That one barely functions, but I did release the bin queue for that.
Yeah. Also, that one image from that became an HL text image.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an HL text image of the Half-Life Redux Dreamcast build.
It's a scary image.
On Uplink, yeah.
It was crashed.
Yeah, it was crashing.
Hey, so should we get to the elephant in the room?
What? Like how?
I mean, we talked about we were gonna
Chef.
do a stream about it, but Chef,
Yeah, we worked on Shaft. Yeah, that was a mod we worked on Shaft.
I'm gonna mute about this because I had nothing to do with Shaft, so
You're
You were
part
there
of,
toward-
you're
yeah,
part
the
of this
end.
now.
I was there.
Explain
when
why you
it
weren't
was
around.
Being
Shot in my head.
well,
There's
because
still
I
a
didn't
hilarious-
exist.
There's still a hilarious message when you like join the fucking Discord and like you weren't even there for that long, but like
No.
fucking some bad shit was happening and it's gone now because the server is like probably no, the server's still up, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm
it's
pretty sure
spun
that
out.
chat's gone.
But yeah, the chat's gone, but it was the end is coming, brothers.
Nostradamus.
It's very funny to think about Shaft because you know, for part of my life I didn't think of it. There's a part of my life where I was working on it, and there's a part of my life where I was fanboying over it. So it's a very I have a very weird experience with it because
crossover where it was both, where you're fanboying over it
and modding. Yeah. No, it's true. It was a weird situation.
I remember when you would tell everyone that you worked on Shaft.
I was so excited. I was like, I'm working on Shaft.
I mean, I was following Shaft since 2016 because like that was like the first sort of Half-Life 1 beta mod I ever saw, and I was like, "Well, this is pretty fucking cool." You know, I've never seen this stuff before, and you know, I didn't have any ModDB accounts. I didn't have any Facepunch accounts, so I just like I just browsed through the beta threads, like not being able to post or anything. Facepunch being like, "Well, this is cool."
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, I followed it probably since it launched because I think not too long before it, like when it started, I pretty much had already given up on modding my own one. So I basically just watched it happen because it also was like, because I was also really into Quiver, and Quiver was dead.
Yeah.
Everyone could see it. So Shaft was my idea of like, finally, it's happening.
Finally.
I want to tell this
Changes
story
in
from my
the air.
perspective.
Yeah, how's your perspective?
It's a very interesting one. Actually, around the time I had gotten the opportunity to join Shaft, I was actually like, my interest in beta had come and gone. Like I was kind of interested, but also I was like very whatever. I don't really care. So I got this link from Dead that was for Google Hangouts, and I had no clue what Google Hangouts were.
Yeah. My name is
So,
Shaft. Sorry, I'm just reading a message from the chat.
My name is
And-
Shaft. He's just spitting.
And one of the acquaintances of Shaft at the time had asked me if he wanted to participate in the mod's development, and I was like, sure. This was like mid 2014.
Yeah.
And when I like gotten into the hangout and I guess on the team and stuff, I actually didn't know what I was gonna be doing. Like I Like I tried mapping. I had like taken one of Magic's maps and like modified it, but I also didn't know a lot of the prerequisites of mapping. So like there was no rad file. I had to like put in the lights manually. And it made the map
Man.
look worse.
Yeah.
I still feel kind of bad actually because in the very first unannounced Shaft stream, I said that this is a office complex map I had made, even though it's just like Magic's barely modified version.
Wait, what did you say?
This was like on the unannounced Shaft stream back in 2015.
Yeah, like the
It was
first
the
one.
very first stream we
Yeah.
ever did.
Yeah.
So I was showing off. I had said that I had made a map when the reality is that I just took one of Magic's office complex maps and like modified it kinda, but also I didn't have the proper rad files, so I had to put in the lights manually.
Jesus.
And
Early Shaft development was fucking chaotic.
Yes, it was.
yeah, actually talk about that because I was here for the second generation.
I guess
Yeah.
relatively, but it was like,
I wasn't in the group officially until like 2015, so there was a lot that I just missed out on.
Because I was stupid and
It's me, Brian, and Alex.
I mean, I was genuinely retarded, so like,
And Markel, aka Darks or whatever. That was the Shaft squad
I was
back in the day.
while I only joined in like early 2018, back when it was being, casted down into the casket. I will admit I was a bit all
Changed.
three everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, you didn't speak at all when we first fucking.
Yeah, he just
Oh,
kind
no.
of screeched and shaked a lot.
Scream.
He was kind of he vibrated at frequencies that produced
yeah,
audible noise.
Talk more about the first generation because a lot of
generation.
that's
hell.
not even. Yeah.
okay.
Uh,
Dad, you should say some things
Yeah.
just in case I miss things.
So we started with Quarantine Alpha. That was what started it all off. That was
Yep,
like
that was-
2012. At least when I joined Quarantine Alpha, it was 2012. Might have been earlier.
That was my baby.
So we worked on that, and then the Alpha leaked.
hmm
And so we started making a beta mod instead. Well, slowly Quarantine Alpha was becoming a beta mod, and then we
Yeah, so
realized
I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'll just split the two, put
yeah,
the
because it
horror
was getting-
stuff out to the side, and work on the beta mod because that's what I
Because
want.
it was starting to get really off track. We were just
Yeah.
making a beta mod now at that point.
Mm.
So we split it up, me Shaft.
hang on a second.
I was off and on the team so goddamn
Excuse you.
often. Because there was always some fucking drama going on. Either I didn't like what someone was doing, or someone didn't like what I was doing. So I was kicked on, let back in, kicked off, let back in. I quit, came back.
Yep.
It's clusterfuck.
The beautiful life of children trying to
Yeah.
make a game.
Wait, hang on. I think
it really
the,
makes you want to know like what the internal deving of Quiver was like with Hazard and all of that. Like, I want to know what was going on during.
How it was
that
with us.
mod's
Imagine how it was like
existence.
them. Because
It was
half of them
probably
weren't-
really bad.
It was,
yeah.
I think it
You
was
know.
similar to our.
Yeah,
I think it
definitely.
probably was worse. You have to. I mean, we don't even know if Hazard really exists.
Yeah,
Well,
chances are
the thing is
Hazard is
that
just
they were like
yeah.
much like that team was much older than us. So
I mean,
They-
they had that. They were like actual adults, assumedly.
Tundra was, and Barnes
Tundra.
was.
And Barnes.
Okay,
and Barnes
we're back.
was-
We actually had a moment of lag there.
Oh shit! How much did we miss?
Just a little
All
bit.
of it.
Just a
Okay.
very little. It wasn't very much. It was just a
but-
little bit of buffering. We're good.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
But-
I checked my phone and everything freaked the fuck out. By the way, I'm tethering this stream, so have fun.
Yeah. Oh Jesus!
The
I'm
5G,
surprised it's
the
doing
5G
so well.
towers.
I'm surprised it's doing so well.
Yeah, because I'm at 2,500 kilobits. That's like as low as I can go. It's at
It's
20.
like more than one.
It's at 25 FPS. So this is very cinematic.
Yeah. But
Like universe.
Anyways, back to the shafts.
yeah.
The mod died, by the way.
Yeah, it's fun.
So
Spoiler, it's dead.
so first gen was like controversial. What about like when magic
Gens
and
were
Spud?
controversial.
There
Alright,
wasn't
well,
a
yeah.
The whole
single
mod was
part of
the mod was
Shaft when it
always
wasn't controversial.
the mod was always
How
having
about-
problems. It didn't.
But how
it-
about when
It was all,
second
like
gen
there was a certain
happened?
point where it was like a Cold War Cuban Missile Crisis situation.
literally, literally.
so right there.
We were all so
Very
we were
accurate.
all so
Oh my
fucking
God.
we were all so fucking dumb. And I
Things
kinda
were
wanted to just-
so
I wanted to just
things
bark.
got so things got so tense at
I just
one
want to
point.
Bart.
Holy
I just
shit.
want to Bart Simpson chokehold my past self.
It got things got so tense between like let's just talk about it like
Hey, we're gonna put Bloom into Shaft. Hey, guess what? We're gonna leak the mod.
okay yeah
Should we talk about the leak story so that way at least it exists?
well here's the thing so like at some point I don't know the full story still really but Dead like I don't how did you leave did you leave the team or were you kicked off and it was the final
It
straw
was
at some point?
okay.
Last one.
What happened from your side? Because
Actually.
when I joined one day and Brian was like, "Hey,
It happened
we're
all
like
around the
removing
same
Dead."
So
We're moving him.
Dude, seriously, I wasn't
What
I wasn't in any power at the time. I was fresh to the team, and one day Brian was just kicking off Dead.
let me talk about the thing. So
And know that even though it sounds rough,
I
we've
left-
managed to make up
I
for
left
it
Shaft.
a bit
I
now.
left Shaft for like the quote unquote final time, and so I'm done with Shaft, never coming back.
The
to
final
it.
time.
So I started getting my team back together. So like Magic, Magic Zed, Xlair, the old squad who was working on like E3 1998 and Half-Life 97, shit like that. So I got like the old squad back together, and we started making progress on our mod. As Shaft is over there in the corner, actually dying, just fucking rotting away because it was just Brian and Alex. Brian can make textures, and Alex is Alex. I think it was Alex. I don't remember who approached me. I think it was Alex. But Alex was like, "Hey man, Shaft is gonna die." And I'm just like, "Okay."
I mean, like, what do you want to say?
It should have right there. It really should have right there.
And
It's for the
he
best it
was
did
like,
somehow.
He was like, "Hey, we really need you guys back, and we'll let you have your terms this time." So we came up with this stupid ass agreement we all signed on that we all fucking ended up being like, "No, it's all void. We didn't sign it in good faith." So that happened. So we ended up merging the two projects, both AZ or E3 1998 at the time and Shaft. So we merged, and that lasted for like a week.
And the thing
Brian
was,
removed-
Alex didn't even talk to me about any of that.
That's how it.
Well,
can
that's
be
actually
sometimes.
really sort of the problem that started the whole thing to begin with.
No
Is
one talked.
nobody. We were all young, stupid. Nobody communicated with anybody. So that's what happened.
One day, Brian took all the control back from the page to himself, and I talked to him like, "Hey, why'd you do this?" And he's just like, "I just kind of wanted the page to myself, I'm just like, what if Magic needs to upload like an update?" And he's just like, "Oh, you can get it through me or Alex." I'm just like, "What if you're both away and we need to like post an update?" They can wait. But,
Children, infants, idiots.
and then it just like it became like a blaming game, and then like Brian was just, I don't remember if I quit or if you got rid of me, or it was just like
I
both.
didn't even want to talk to you anymore because you kind of freaked me out.
I know I freaked a lot of people out.
I said I joined a Hangouts call one day, and you guys were like, "Dead's off the team." Like I didn't have that final discussion. That's just off the team.
Fucking- So I decided to just like hide my account, didn't want to deal with any drama. And then I think you must have sent a message to Alan or someone that was just like Dead is gone, Shaft has won type.
Oh
deal.
my god. Yeah, that's what a message.
And I was talking to Magic afterwards. I don't know if Magic remembers this.
No, I don't remember
But I was
anything.
asking, okay, so I was talking to you about it, and I was just asking if you wanted to hop back over, and you were just like, "Nah, I would just rather this be my final Gold Source mod. I'm after this, I'm done."
Man, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Boy,
So
how many
so
more
in the
mods does that
beginning-
make?
during the beginning, I try to stay positive to all those who were former members who didn't leave Shaft to go back with me, who stuck with Shaft. I try to stay like nice and on good terms. And you can even see that in some of the original
Yeah.
streams.
Yeah, no, that was true because I see that, and that's the thing. On my end, I wanted the same thing. I was like, we should not, even if you have ill intent, you shouldn't. Like, we need to be positive. It's a way better thing to do. And a certain someone,
My man.
decided to fuck that. Like, he just ruined it in one fell message. Just ruined it.
Fucking. But yeah.
So
in
oh,
early
sorry.
Shaft streams, you could see me talking to Magic,
Yeah.
like giving him
Yeah.
feedback and shit.
Yeah, and
I
even
was
when the
already-
leak happened, he was helping, and I didn't listen to
Like,
that either. But
Yeah,
I was,
wait, that was post, like that was
So,
post,
I
like
wanna-
fuck
I
up,
wanna
but that was,
continue.
yeah, sorry.
Because I want to. So after that, eventually Magic. I don't remember if you stopped talking to me or you just fucking outright just blocked me.
no, I never
Started
blocked you.
shit-talking me. I think you just removed me and started shit talking me because that was just at that point
was
the
just
Shaft way.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, well this is bullshit.
Mhm.
So I just continue working on my mod as I'm being fucking harassed as I'm just like trying to fight back and making sure my ass is good.
Mhm.
And all this shit. And Alex is like jumping back and forth, like always. And eventually, Alan gets invited to this hangout with Brandon and Brian.
Mhm.
And they just outright tell Alan, we're leaking Shaft. And I think their game plan was to blame Alan for the leak. Say it was, the AZ people. Which didn't go anywhere. They didn't even get the blame
Wait, no,
anywhere.
no.
No.
Instantly blamed Alex.
It
No,
wasn't
that wasn't
We
the
weren't
game
gonna
plan.
blame Lena.
Yeah.
We just brought him.
There was
into control.
there was the images were purposefully done with that, so there it would just kind of existed because you guys made a Russian account act like a Russian got it.
So I want
So-
to talk about this from my point of view.
Yeah.
So when I joined Shaft, this was like after Dead got kicked off, and
Oh, yeah, 'cause you guys
I was still on
joined
good.
me.
I was still on good terms with Dead, but also I was on the Shaft team, and I was completely unaware of the tension that was occurring between the
Oh,
two.
Jesus. Yeah.
So I was seeing these two guys spit fire on each other. I was like, what's happening?
It got so bad. And this was not this. I remember this because the peak happened when I and JC had gotten on the team.
Yeah, JC joined the team and literally
Right
like,
when the peak happened.
no,
This was
that-
the moment.
JC
yeah.
joined the team right when the leak happened. Like literally, like
This was the moment where everything was gonna blow up. You know,
Yeah.
like it
no,
seemed
literally
like it.
joined the team. Hey, you're a mapper now. And then like we're all in a call. And it's like, hey, the mod leaked.
Anger was like at full mount. We were fucking angry, you know, and oh man.
Let me continue with
Yeah,
the story because
Sorry.
so Alan gets invited to this hangout and he instantly messages me like, "Dude, Shaft's falling apart." I'm just like, "What do you mean Shaft's falling apart?" He's just like, two of the devs just invited me to their fucking hangout calls and I gotta leak the goddamn mod. I'm just like, laughing a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah, a little
make it-
chuckle, a little
Taking a
little bit of a.
Laughing
The
at
thing
fact
is that like Brandon and I could have just like been upfront to Magic and said, "Hey, we don't want these 3D skyboxes or any of these fancy
But
features.
that
We just
would
want this to
require-
stay like
That would have required thoughtful thinking from infants.
It required community. As I said, Shaft was a prime example of failure to communicate.
Yeah.
So, and I want to state, I think in my mind, I didn't actually expect them to do it. I thought this was just like,
just
oh,
like
the game's splintering apart, whatever.
And then it got leaked.
And then next day, it's on my DB.
It was.
I actually did it.
What I don't know if Alex told you about it, but oh my god, the madness in the hangout, the pure speculation that happens on every image,
And the
and
funniest
we came
part.
to the conclusion that it was Alex with no evidence.
No, well, we
I
were
remember
just
the thing being
no,
though is that Alex was acting really shifty.
No,
He
was being really
that's the
shifty.
thing though. That's the thing. You said zero evidence, but we were looking at it, and we were looking at who was around and who wasn't, and we knew who was in calls and who wasn't. Was Alex the one that wasn't? And Alex was being really weird at that point. And
The
his
funniest part
solution,
is-
and his solution when we were like, "Hey, Alex, I mean, we want your opinion on it. Like, what did you have an involvement with the league?" He literally just left and removed all of us as friends.
Yeah, he left
So he
removed
did
us,
the
and,
most-
and then someone found out he talked to Dead, and you gotta remember this was the fucking, like Spud said, the Cuban Missile Crisis. So talking to Dead was like means for execution.
Immediate red flag.
So,
Like, why were you?
I think I contacted Magic. I don't remember if I even got into the hangout with all you guys explaining this. But I sent all the evidence and like the photographs of the hangout and the fucking fact that I think Brian's name was still in the damn build and it still had like X and Furnace maps in it. And after I showed them all this evidence, they were just like, "Nah, it was still Alex."
Yep.
Well, no,
it
you
wasn't-
showed
it
it.
literally
No,
wasn't
but
until
the thing that about that is, Alex. The problem with that is that the build names. I realized that Alex had multiple, like, so it was already compromised.
Yeah, there was a
that
point
that
where
was
we
no
just
longer
assumed
valid.
we-
Like,
we
besides,
thought the evidence was circumstantial at that point. I remember.
yeah. Just also
And
with the extra
we-
fair stuff, those were also being shared. So it's just like I just was like,
It was legit. You had good points, but we had legit fucked up the build so much that it was all useless because everyone was passing stuff around like hotcakes.
As I
So
said.
Alex joins our team for like a few weeks.
No, this is the Cuban Missile Crisis. This was when things were actually melting down.
It boiled
I forgot.
over. It boiled over after the initial leak.
So
Yeah.
fucking
Oh
Alex was
god.
working on this for like a few weeks. He made a
Ted.
fucking big communication center map.
He
Ted
did make
was
that
before the
Ted. Oh damn! I thought.
Communication center map was decent, but he had the layout 100% wrong, and I told him, "Hey, this layout's wrong." He does the Alex thing where he's just like,
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
And-
Okay, calm down.
he does
Can we-
it, but he does it like half-assed, and then he leaves.
Can we take like a 5-minute break? I don't want to miss this, but I gotta like use the bathroom. Can we like all get like a break here?
Well,
Okay.
we can't just have like dead air.
Shit. Okay, I'll be right back. Sorry.
All right. Well, okay. Okay. We'll.
I'll stall.
How much?
Okay.
We'll
We'll
stall.
just pause for a
Okay,
second.
real quick. We'll talk about how much farther we're gonna go into the story because I mean, I didn't want Shaft to be the whole fucking like episode.
The story.
And I want to talk about like modding other games too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can because I want to wrap this up at some point because usually because we're gonna approach it. We're already an hour 30. We're gonna approach 2. I definitely want to end it
I
around.
don't think
2.
an hour 30 is too bad.
No, I think 2 hours is a good amount though. So we'll wrap up the shaft crisis.
So we'll wait until like Birdie comes back to wrap up Shaft, but like
I guess I could go P2.
yeah,
Let's all just take a pee break. Chat. Everybody take a pee break. We'll
just start peeing in your chair.
we'll play
Water.
I got it. We'll do this. I'll play something that's not gonna.
You play some silly tunes.
I got it. Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna play. There we go. Let's play quiet.
Royalty-free ocean.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, I gotta go to the stream. What's being played?
I'm playing the only thing I know that won't trigger a flag.
Be right back. Sorry.
Also, there's gonna be a lot of latency at the moment because of where
Oh,
I'm
the
at.
stream's like 10 minutes behind.
Yeah, it's because of my networking. It's not gonna be. It's not the gigabit internet, so it's not gonna be like low latency. I'm playing Ultimate Ride OST build number 4.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Oh, I can't go a day on and off without build number 4.
Damn.
Fucking build number 4. This is going in.
Give it up for building 4.
Give it up for build 4.
Guys, let's talk about building 3.
I'll put that in deep.
I'll put that in deep, to be quite honest.
That's another discussion. No, we're gonna not talk about modding next.
Hey, let's have a drama stream where all we talk about is the.
I wanted to
horrific-
wrap up this stream with talking about the current state of Half-Life 1 modding, but some people are very they're very weary about me talking about that because it's gonna probably step on some glass.
I mean, we could talk about Half-Life modding in its current state.
The current what I like to call
It's
lobotomized.
bad.
The current lobotomized state.
Really, you can
bad.
sum it all up with this image right here.
They can't see images.
I
I
just
think
put
you
it
posted in
into
chat.
chat.
You can summarize it by farting.
Well, as I said, if I ever put this on things that are not this. Wait, what chat?
The stream chat.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes. No.
Okay. Don't worry about the context if you're listening to this on like Spotify or something. It's a boxer.
When this is going, we're on Spotify now. It's
we could
official.
be on iTunes like next week.
Right next to Joe Rogan.
We'll be.
Uh-huh.
You'll be. I'll say
Joe
related.
Rogan Half-Life experience.
I'll say that like we were. I'll put the same tags as Joe Rogan, so we'll just appear.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Dude,
Next week,
gorillas,
interviewing Elon.
weed.
So basically, aliens. Yeah, aliens. We're talking
I wanted
politics
an
now.
episode about. I said I wanted this one to be about modding. I said we have ones that could all be related to game stuff. I wanted one to be related to,
These nuts.
yeah.
Look at this shit.
Actually, I kind of wanted one related to our early internet days, like because I feel like that'd be something. I feel like there's
Early
not. I feel
internet
like
days.
I feel like there's not enough people that describe like their early internet experience like in detail.
I don't.
I do want to ask you, Magic, because I think you're the only one here old enough to remember this shit. But
Okay.
do you remember going on to like Computer Gaming World or whatever the fuck, Computer Crack World or whatever that site was called, where you
Game Copy World?
Yeah, Game Copy World, where you would copy a bunch of like no CD patches. I used to go into that site just download a bunch of fucking no CD patches in hopes that I would
Yeah.
get like a full game.
I did that. Yeah, no, I used that because that was at the time. No, that was at the time with like a bunch of with a lot of mega upload stuff where you'd have to CD crack everything. So that site was used
doing
to.
this back in I was still running Windows 98 when I was using that site. I was still on the gateway.
No, I was still on. I was on XP for a long ass time.
I remember.
Me too.
I remember when Windows 7 was out. I was still I was in that refusal stage of moving to it. I was on Windows XP still, and I had a friend who had a computer that broke down, and I reset it all for him and reinstalled Windows stuff, and I gave him XP even though it was like already like 2012 or something like that. I'm like, don't worry, this is way better than 7.
I think 2012 is when I upgraded.
Yeah.
To 7.
It was. You shouldn't be.
I upgraded to 7 and then downgraded back to XP and then realized how like old XP was.
Yeah,
So
that's the
back to
problem.
7.
Is I gave him XP and I was like, you know what? This is just too like. It's not like it's not usable. It's just too fucking old. And 7 was already pretty well established by then. I mean, 7 still wasn't like 10, so it wasn't really
bad. It's just different.
It was different. I didn't like the change. I was already starting to grow the old white beard. and hate the
It's
youth.
just so old.
I'm just so
God.
Their loud music.
I'm just so old. That's why I bought a house so I could tell kids to get off my lawn.
Have you done that yet?
No, there's no kids really walking around because COVID.
Bought a house at the wrong time.
I bought a house at the worst time. I bought a house when everybody stayed the fucking side. And my yard just died because it was really fucking hot. So, oh well.
Texas problems.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
I
Yeah.
mean, Half-Life, so it is.
Yeah,
what it
no, I
is.
was walking. I was trying to fit like my grass
All
was
right.
like all yellowing and stuff, and my neighbor was like, he's like, "Oh, got a yellow yard. Yeah, but didn't water enough." I'm like, I kind of didn't want a $300 water bill. Anyways, continue.
Yep.
I'll
That's
name my
exactly.
children after various diseases. You know, yeah, my son COVID, and my other son,
Gingivitis.
yeah,
Brian, you're
gingivitis.
going into the corner. Anyways,
All right,
Anyway, so we can
Uncle
continue with the
Polio.
shaft talk.
Uncle
Well,
let's
Polio.
finish the shaft talk. Let's finish the shaft talk.
Alex
Yeah.
And then we can finish it all off with a nice discussion about Half-Life's current modding.
Yeah,
scene.
yeah, but let him finish. Let him finish. Everybody, shh.
Alex was on the AZ team for like 2 weeks, and he went back to Shaft, and you guys kick him off again. Don't know why. Don't remember why.
Because he was
Alright,
being
so-
because he was being a shady piece of shit. Still, like it's just how he was being. He never.
always shady.
He never seems to do it intentionally, but he always does it somehow.
Yeah, it was just he came back, but it was still just not. It wasn't.
So he comes back to us, and he's acting super shady, but we're thinking nothing of it because that's just how Alex is. Always shady. So
Yes.
Yeah, shady, like under tree.
so he
Uh-huh.
at some point in one of our hangout calls, he was like, "Hold up, guys, I gotta be right back," and he mutes, and he still has the screen share open, and it's me and Alan in the hangout, and he joins the Shaft hangout under an account impersonating me.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh,
me
You
and
can't make these things up, by the way.
yeah.
Me and Alan are just like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is he doing?
Kill myself.
I think I heard someone yell in the back. It's whatever.
Alex
He'll
is
be
in
back
there.
sometime.
Alex is in there, and he's talking to all you guys. And, like, he comes back, and he's just maniacally laughing.
Oh my god.
And he's just like, me and Alan are just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I just fucking went in there and I made Brody cry, and he's just like, and we're just like,
Oh no, that's where that audio came from. Yeah.
what the fuck is wrong with you, Alex?
Yeah, that happened.
What are you doing?
See, that's what I'm saying. No, but people were like, "Oh, he looks sketchy." That's what I'm saying. He just did things that would make you really fucking like. He would be perfect in Among Us.
So
What a comment. Holy shit.
All right,
Why
I'm gonna
would you-
leave, guys. Goodbye. I realize I'm in streamer mode, so it doesn't make the sound.
It did.
So
yeah.
nobody heard that.
So later, Magic did a stream where you guys were playing Half-Life, and then we're gonna do Shaft stuff. I think you guys cut the Half-Life section out of that stream entirely because of Alex. Because he just goes in there, he started harassing you guys.
Yeah.
As me and Alan are in the hangout, just yelling, "Alex, fucking stop! What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the actual fuck are you doing?"
Mhm.
And then like a week passes, and I get this, I don't remember if it was an email or a message, but I get this message or email from Brandon. And it's just like, I think Alex leaked AZ.
Yep.
It's just like, he did what now?
Oh yeah, I remember
And I
this.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, perfect timing. This was the
Perfect
Perfect
climax.
sliming. What's going
Yeah,
on?
when you fucking messaged me when you like, I think Alex leaked AZ.
I messaged you.
Yes, I believe so.
I remember it was you.
Oh yeah.
We were
I
in the
went and
call. It
told
was you.
about it.
It was you, me, and Alex in the calls, and he was showing us because Funny fact,
Get
he
in
told
there.
us it was. He told us it was Half-Life 1 beta build first. Yeah.
Oh, the funniest moment, to be quite
Oh,
honest.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I contact Alex and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Oh
And
man.
he's just like, what are you accusing me of? What are you accusing me of? It's just like, why the fuck did you leak it? He's just like, well, I'm just gonna kill myself then. And it's just like, don't. Just take a fucking break from the internet, dude. Just take a goddamn break.
Mhm.
So, I don't know who leaked a bunch of logs to me, but it was just like, once everyone figured out it was easy, everyone was just like, I want nothing to do with this. Dead will actually kill me.
Hmm.
He came to
At
us,
first.
showed us a bunch of
yeah.
screenshots, faked screenshots.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh
No,
yeah,
we
this is a
don't-
real
we don't-
Half-Life beta build.
We don't need to cancel
And,
Alex. That's all like history now.
No,
already
do
did.
not
He
cancel.
finally
Alex.
took his break from the internet.
He took his break. He's I mean, we don't talk to him too much, but he has apologized for a lot of it. So
Yeah,
just
no.
leave the poor guy alone.
Yeah, so leave him alone.
Well, it's
leave
just
him alone.
it's just we're just telling it's just a story, but
This is remember, this is all
This
stuff
is-
that happened when we were all like,
Water under the bridge.
yeah, very
Mhm.
hyperactive kids still.
I was like 23.
Yeah, well, you were also the maturest one of the group.
No,
of
I was like the
story.
most
Yeah,
mature one. I'm just like,
I was just trying to stay out of it.
Yeah, and Spud stayed out of it, so he. I remember.
No, I wanted to be on the high ground, but also no, I didn't.
It was pretty much most drama can be tracked back to Alex, me, Brandon, and Brian. Unfortunately,
But good news, the mod died, so
good news.
the
So
problem solved itself.
Nothing matters.
Yeah. So
The problem solved itself.
I don't know how it really drove to the boiling point, but it got to the point where AZ's build had been leaked. Stuff was really mounting for some reason, and VCC was also not helping.
This was before the demo shipped.
Yeah,
it was. The demo
things
ship
were
got
really
fucked.
mounting, and I don't remember how it happened, but somehow, AZ's leak was it was public, but it was also kind of like moderately it wasn't too. It was public, but it wasn't too bad.
It
Right.
was supposed to be seen shared around enough where people were telling me about it. And I took it
Yeah,
down.
that's the
And then-
thing.
I shot my guns.
Yep. And
Leaked like 6 shaft builds.
6 shaft builds and logs, and that was when then me and Brandon decided in the dumbest act to then start uploading the build, not just on VCC, but everywhere we could post it. So it was getting to the point where we were firing back at each other, like a fucking attacking, because just because of this small stupid thing. This was and after this, nothing really happened. I think at some points we tried to make up, but at that point we were all still too angry to even make up. So
yeah, it took.
Hey, everyone was citing the shaft when I was leaking it.
yeah,
Like,
and that really didn't help. That didn't help at all.
They just leaked my fucking mod.
Yeah. So this whole thing exploded, and it's fortunate it didn't get any worse, because at some point, for whatever reason, we all just shut up finally.
No, we all
Until
shut up.
One
and then,
fateful day when Alan decided to say that we two should talk or whatever.
That was
And
the
we
one
made
day it worked.
amends like human beings.
But
finally.
that was pretty later, to be
we
fair.
we put on our big boy jeans finally.
To be fair, that was like
Tried this
2018, weren't it?
twice.
We tried
17
it
or
twice.
18, something like that.
We tried it twice.
I have the chat logs of the first one because I kept just fucking with you guys.
Yeah, because that was too
It-
soon.
it- I
after
think it was too soon.
and we were all too
Yeah.
angry.
I said it.
A Steam group chat.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was. It was.
Back, back.
The second time Lionel or Alan, as you can call him, did it, and we were. Shaft was
hang on,
already. Yeah. Or it was a Discord, and one Shaft was already on the way out, so it was like, whatever. And 2, we were all finally like so jaded from all of it. That we kind of just were like, yeah, let's just make up. This is so stupid. You know.
Everyone's finally ready to bury the hatchet.
And as we found out, you know,
Return.
we all made good friends even despite all of the bullshit. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the sad part.
We found
We're
out
all like
most big-
funny and similar. We have a similar sense of stupid humor, and this
John
whole
and
time
Aaron
we've just
wins.
been
They
avoiding
realize
each other.
friendship's more important.
came to realize a lot of the fucking grudges we had against each other were just not even real.
yeah,
They were
that was another thing.
self-imposed because none of us could just accept that we were wrong.
Yeah. So it's
We
an
were
interesting
wrong.
story. And not too long after all that happened, like, you know, Shaft was reaching its end because, one, we were getting tired of it for this long, you know, and two, we kept trying to redo it because every year we got better at making games.
Yeah, that was still the main thing that killed us. Just we were.
It was
We
like a
kept-
perfectionist thing.
Yeah,
we
we
kept
were-
trying to redo assets to the point where we were tiring ourselves out because every time we did one set of assets for the game, by the time we were done, we'd be like, this is all terrible. This
we
won't
can do
work.
better. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the thing. We just we didn't understand the concept of you can only polish a turd so much. And that's just what we just kept wanting to make it better and better and better and better. And honestly, the last iteration of what we were gonna have in Shaft was like the
Brandon,
best.
are you eating right now?
It was the best stuff that we have came up with for Shaft. Like we had like the best ideas for the CIA
Yeah.
to be included and a bunch of other stuff. And then we had plenty of plans. The issue is none of us wanted to do that because we were just so tired of looking at it.
The final version of Shaft was probably the most ambitious and was going to be the coolest, but at that point, it was just too much. We were just too tired.
And then
We
was
couldn't
like,
bring ourselves
well,
to do it anymore.
I was like, well, instead of remaking assets from an earlier Half-Life build, why don't I just put a fucking dragon in it? Because that'll be easy.
Ben Stanley says, "Are questions being taken by the cast?"
That is something I'm wondering if we should do like near the end.
We should do a Q&A at the end, but okay. So we sort of had the Shaft story. Should we just do the
talking about modding in general now?
Well, we had the mod Euro,
go
but should we?
I want to say one more thing about the Shaft thing, which is more AZ
Yeah.
side related. I am so fucking lucky and glad that Alex got kicked from the Dropbox so quickly because he was backing it up to send the entire dev drive to you guys. Source code.
Yeah, we only got a build, so we.
And I was so lucky I pulled that out because that would have been so.
We would all if that
Was it
if
really
Let me
that
just say
loud?
right now. Let me just say right now. Similar to the Cuban Missile Crisis, if that dev drive got leaked to us, we would probably all be dead.
Yeah, it would have.
We would be actually dead.
The fact that the build was the only thing that got out probably nullified things a little bit because the whole thing would have inevitably been leaked by us during just the fight back thing. And I think if we leaked the entire dev drive, that would have been too much.
Oh yeah,
that would have been that actually would have been completely, utterly, obscenely fucked up.
You would have seen your guys' doxes somewhere.
Yeah,
probably. Unrelated, but sort of still with the tangent of mods. In my Discord, Octopus was talking about this really horrible Half-Life 2 mod that even featured a not safe for work patch. It's called Antarctic something? Sciences. Yeah. The mod dev removed everything, but some people obviously saved it, and I have a build now, so we're gonna stream that.
Wow.
In the future.
Okay. Ben, just to answer the question real quick, Alex is a former developer of us. He's a good guy. He's just he's a bit he has problems. And a while ago,
very confused at times.
A while ago, it was agreed for the best of everyone just to separate, at least, as a group. A lot of us still are, on decent terms with him. I still follow him on Twitter and stuff,
I said I still have him on Facebook. So I said he's still fine. It's just it was that time period and
for the best. It was for the best of everyone to separate so that we could things just. I don't know about now, but specifically with Shaft time, it was just too volatile.
Yeah. You have the not safe for work patch. I got to make sure I censor that stream.
Yeah, but
because I don't want my one of my second best video on the channel getting axed because YouTube changes their policy.
God. But yeah,
Spicy. Yeah, never forget the Shaft NSFW patch.
What?
Remember how we wanted to put an asshole on every character?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
We wanted to put the Panther Eye asshole on every character for April Fools. Yes, we did.
No. Ben Stanley asking. No.
Oh.
He's not related to the Vans.
No, not at all. No, unrelated. Spiciest Half-Life 1 modding tips. I guess that's a better... Instead of talking about current Half-Life modding, that might be the better thing.
Well, spiciest opinions about Half-Life 1 modding?
I guess your hot take.
Well...
Okay, so basically... point of view mods are like really overdone and overrated.
My spiciest
the only good one is Dark Matter.
My spiciest take is they haven't been good since probably 2010. All Half-Life mods have been pretty. There have been some good ones, but for the most part, Half-Life 1 modding has been bad since that.
It's either a bunch of like Fulbright rooms made by Russians. It's either a shitpost, a really badly made, overdone shitpost mod made for generic Half-Life 1 YouTuber number 005. It's either a barely lit room made by Russians, or it's just a point of view mod.
I honestly think total conversions are the way to go now.
To explain my point, I said there are still good mods since like 2005, but modding in general has been pretty fucked. I think.
Okay, that's where I want to go with. Hang on, where I want to go with like echoes being mentioned by Gunship Mark II. So yeah, Half-Life modding to me, after its resurgence with the orange box, it's had a steady decline again because there hasn't been like another resurgence. Half-Life Alyx did not bring a resurgence to Half-Life 1, unlike
wouldn't have,
not in a good way. But as I said, there are like good there's still diamonds in the rough. Like you have like echoes and stuff that come out that are really good. But the problem is just the general consensus of how people feel about Half-Life 1 mods is it's starting to split into two groups. You have people that just want a mod that can be streamed for a famous YouTuber man, like a mess up mod, or a mod that has sounds replaced. As Twitter has already shown that people can just put random memes sounds into Half-Life. Still, that's been being done since I first played Half-Life, and it's still happening, and it's still successful. And then you have mods like Echoes, which are really good, and it's fine. Like a proper Half-Life 1 mod that does something, either it's a POV mod where it's like a different, perspective of the Black Mesa incident, or it's just something completely out there and different. And those exist. But the problem is, the other thing that's happening with modding is when there's stuff like Echoes, people just sort of disregard any other Half-Life mod ever exists, and they think that that's like the perfect culmination of like modding.
There have been some
respect Echoes, but I think
Echoes is fantastic, and it is definitely the best mod probably one of the best mods of its generation.
Of its era, it's one of the best ones, but the problem is people then automatically make it out as if like nothing has been better before and nothing better is coming now. Because I said that, but I also sort of blame current gen internet users for that, where you're not allowed to have more than one thing that's good. Apparently, it has to be the best, and everything else is below it.
Here, guys, I'm gonna post this in chat. This is my most anticipated mod of 2021.
So I want to state my hot take of Half-Life modding.
Okay.
Ah, yes. Here we go.
It's a very basic bitch hot take, but I still stand by it, and so does like Lionel, aka Alan. Azure Sheep, not good.
You know,
I
like,
you know what? I kind of agree. Early Azure Sheep
Yeah.
I like, but mid to late game Azure Sheep no.
I'll
Azure
be
Sheep
honest, never even played it.
Azure Sheep
Yeah.
Azure Sheep has a reputation. You know, it's all right. Is it?
Like,
Okay, so I
it.
played the last time I played Azure Sheep was like sometime last year, and it was just one time, and I didn't get through the whole thing because of this. Like I was having a good time through like the first half, and then there's this part where you have to bring Kate with you through the like through all the hallways and stuff, and then there's this weird
That's where I
thing
stopped.
there's this lift thing that goes across this river, but she wouldn't get on the lift because there's just a small gap she wouldn't go over. So I was like, you know what, I'll just press the button, but then it left a message on the screen saying, no, you have to take her with you. It's like, you know what, I'm swimming. So I jumped off the elevator, and it was full of archers.
Nice.
These are mild takes, IMO.
Okay, you want a real hot take?
Uh-oh.
Swiss
No, no,
Cheese
no.
Halloween 2002 is
This
the
isn't
best
really a modding
Half-Life
thing.
It's the
mod.
best mod.
No, Boom is
I-
the best Half-Life mod.
Oh,
The
God,
most
not
hot
Blue.
take I can have for Half-Life is not related to modding though.
The best. hot
Bring it
take,
out.
like,
Come on, lay it on the table.
Well, actually, I have
official hot
two.
take.
Huh? What?
Can I state my official hot take, like the one I stand by all the time, the one I bring up every fucking moment I have?
Okay, you go.
Chew it.
Zash 3D can suck my nuts.
Hey, see, that's the thing. I don't disagree. The only
I'll be
reason,
honest, I hate Zash, but it
but
also
Valve
has
over here for
a
some
fair
reason.
amount of benefits.
The only problem is Valve over here being stupid, man. It just. I really want Zash to die, but Valve just won't do the thing that'll let it die.
Oh, hi, Fonz. You missed a
Hey
bit.
guys, what did I miss? The whole thing.
The
Yeah,
first
yeah.
2 hours.
There's been a lot you missed. Holy cow! Sorry.
hot take.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
wait, John.
It's Big John's spicy take.
Okay. What's your
Tabasco.
All right, put him in the chair. So,
yeah? Dude, you're
Okay,
going on the
but
bench.
since Gunship is here, we should
Half-Life
mention.
1,
No,
Half-Life
go
1's
ahead.
okay, I guess. I enjoy They Hunger. It's probably my favorite Half-Life mod. Fuck everything
Hunger.
else.
It's one hell of a weird mod, but it is charming. So
I think I prefer
so
They
overwhelmingly
Hunger
charming.
for Azure Sheep. I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I think I would.
I prefer it over like Echoes and shit like that. So.
I don't know. I need to play Echoes again. I did. I don't know. I might prefer Echoes.
Echoes is really good.
Anyways,
It's, you know.
Hey, remember the core?
Oh no.
The what?
Exactly.
It's never coming out.
Anyways, any other? What else were we gonna do?
I think that
Open
was
source
it.
and gold source might bring another. I believe it would because a lot of
I think
people
it
make
would.
proper.
It
source
would be
ports.
so nice.
Because there's just when you look at stuff like the whole Half-Life, there's a lot of people that gain like a knowledge of what's going on with cold source, and we're reaching that point where like there's so many things that could be done to the engine because gold source, and I think it's been mentioned by Slarty who's not here, but gold source is probably one of
God
the
rest his
best
soul.
derivatives of Quake. Like
Yeah.
out of the
Yeah.
Quake engine, like out of all the Quake engine like related engines that branched off of it or directly in line with it, Gold Source is probably going to be the most big one to people if it became open source. But Valve stupid mode.
Most of the issues with it are just things related to Half-Life,
very easy fix,
not
yeah.
the engine itself.
Well, also that.
The engine has problems,
No, the engine
but
has
if you,
problems,
like,
but they aren't complicated fixes. That's the thing.
you can go back in time to like older revisions and reverse those, and then get the
Yeah.
fixes
Yeah.
essentially. Same with Half-Life, even.
Really, though, the one build it has good things that the latest builds don't.
I found a version of the Steam build that's before the Condition Zero merge. So it's like one Half-Life with the Steam UI, But so it's a better gold source than current Steam HL, but it is still not the best version of Half-Life because it's post TFC, and TFC broke a lot of things as well. Introduced a lot of good features like prediction, but it broke so much shit.
I was
It's really just for the
really,
Linux port.
I was given like a nice bit of hope when I saw that Steam Half-Life was getting fixes
Oh no.
actively on the GitHub. Like
You should always know when Steam does or when Valve does something like that, they do it for 2 weeks and then give up.
Yeah, I really thought they would have been like, okay, we're gonna fix a few things, overbrights, put shadows back in, fix some nice engine related bugs. All they did was like two
cheats.
Yeah.
They
two
fixed
things,
SV
like
cheats,
music
and I think-
transitions, FPS related bugs, and
Yeah, with the
K-pop.
monster spinning.
music.
Still didn't fix widescreen.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
even though that's
that's
ridiculous.
never gonna get fixed. And every person that plays Half-Life in the modern day,
YouTubers
like
will always-
90, yes, YouTubers are always gonna have
Zoomed in
super
FOV.
horrible FOV because
I can't
they
add
don't know
sounds
the
to
default
Half-Life 1 in
FOV
mod.
is,
Yeah,
CY.
you can't. Yeah, you can literally do nothing with the sound engine with Half-Life unless you just use like Fmod or something, which is what almost everybody does.
That's right. The fucking pre-cache on the
AZ and put it on the Census because Census has a larger pre-cage.
That's silly. I
Yeah.
like that's a good idea, but that's ridiculous. That's
Crazy because we had limitations with the sounds.
yeah. Ah, my god. Fucking.
And that's the one thing I like about Zash. Hey, there's a limit. I'm just gonna just make it higher.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
see, but that's the thing. If Gold Source was open source, I could just take the
It
sound
wouldn't
engine
matter.
and just make it higher.
Not
Yeah, I could make it not suck shit, and that's all. That's what I'm saying.
Re-
Oh wow, I don't want it to do CD audio and do proper MP3s. I just make it do MP3s. That's just it would be right there. I don't have to hook the engine. I don't have to dance around limits. I can just make it better directly.
Oh, my map's too big. I can't see anything. Oh, the world's just
Yeah.
Should I
can
even
see the,
say
the
that I
end?
figured out how
Oh
to
yeah,
do
so we
motion
found out a thing with the we found out a
Hold
thing
on.
with- what?
Spawn said he figured out how to do motion captured faces in Gold Source.
bones.
Well, duh, but so what? Did you like motion capture like bones on a Gold Source face or something? I mean, that'd be
I wanna
cool.
see that.
Yeah, if you
I
got
would
a
like to
video,
see that.
if you got a video, link it, please, because
Okay, so
or
we reached,
something.
okay, wait. Anyway,
Anyway.
we reached the 2-hour mark. Should we?
Yeah.
What should we do?
Should
as far as
do
wrap it? Does anybody really have any
Q&A.
questions? Does anybody really have any questions
Yeah,
besides
we could
Ben
do
Stanley?
the questions and apples.
Questions and apples.
Questions and
Cucumber
Apples,
and
a
apples.
famous game. Download it now on how
Cucumbers
it's
and
made
soup
up.
and cube.
Because yeah, I mean, I don't know how much we talked about like for modding, but if you have any other questions about it, because we've been doing it for so fucking long now. Ugh.
Also, no, I just want to say
I'm so old.
no one talks about Sweet Half-Life and Pieces Like Us anymore.
They're both pretty good. I like Pieces
Yeah,
Like
I
Us is
played both.
weird.
Timeline
Half-Life
severed.
Sweet, oh god, yeah. Sweet
Timeline
Half-Life is
severed.
a bit more standard. Pieces Like Us is quite wild.
I don't think I've ever played that.
I've played Sweet Half-Life, but not Pieces.
Is
Like That.
Pieces Like
Yeah.
Us the one that ends with G-Man getting turned into Gibbs?
Never. To her
think it
Jagger,
does.
no.
Let
next
me see.
question.
Half-Life Redux 4 when? Wouldn't that be funny?
I
if
need.
got a
We need.
fuck-
Okay, I know
6
it's like. I know
hours
we're like.
from
I know
now.
we're like the jokesters, but also serious questions.
We're the jokesters.
Well, the other one's
Tricksters
copyrighted.
like clowns.
Should,
We're all wearing face paint right now. You can't see it because it's audio.
I
but
made
we
a
are.
model-
Remember
G-Man
that one time
for-
we were working on a sequel to that one mod?
That's pretty impressive, Fonz. Actually, that's not
Oh,
a bad idea for.
Mini, like small mod.
Yeah.
Very
Well, the problem with the
small,
motion
tiny
cap. Well,
mod.
you're gonna run into a problem, Fonz, because the more bones you have, the easier it is to eat up the data. for
It'll
each
happen one
sequence.
day.
Like the
I'll have
current
it.
the current Sparrow model for Year of the Dragon, with all the bones that it has, which is literally 127 bones, which is one short of the limit. Animations can't go over 30 frames before it's too big.
Have you seen Nail and Crescent?
So-
They are remaking Gold Source with an RTX build of Quake. I have not seen Nail and Crescent.
Sounds interesting.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. It looks really rad.
I saw that, but I think I remember seeing an image of it in development where they were in the test chamber and there was just holes in the world everywhere. And
I bet it's
I
starting,
sent
but,
it. I sent it to the Half-Life text man, and it ended up on the page. Yeah, the scientists
No,
were just
no.
missing chunks of their bodies.
Nail and Crescent does sound cool though. And listen, if someone added RTX technology to Half-Life,
I've wanted RTX
I would-
Half-Life 1 for a while now.
I would
But
be.
I
really
know it'll
down.
never happen though because of Valve.
Crash
I've always
Bandicoot Half-Life
really-
mod? No,
Funny.
no. Next. That's 2 no's.
Would you guys ever run a Half-Life deathmatch server? We love doing.
Oh.
We've even talked about
we
doing
talked about-
another deathmatch like game hosting.
We did want to host a opposing force deathmatch server. Like we would do a opposing force deathmatch stream, and we just let all of us just get everybody to play the game and revitalize. Because we found out opposing force deathmatch is a little bit more fun due to that weapon variety.
I can show it off in the Discord if you guys want to see it, like in Magic's Discord or.
Yeah, put it in creative if you wanted to. Speaking of, if you want to join that Discord, it's not related to this podcast, but I'll link it, I guess, because why not? I guess. That's
You'll only find 2 of us in there.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's where you go for the latest information on crazy
Nipple to
nipples.
It's a pretty nice Discord. We should probably do more like.
well. Once
Should
we
do,
get once we get game number 1 going, I'll have a channel for that as well. But
We
you're
should
the Dragon Master
probably. We should probably do more in that server, since
Well,
I mean, it
we
is
had a
magic.
public server, but we nuked all that because it was from our bad
it is
times.
it is Magic server, but like we kind of like I don't know. At this point, we've kind of like
Well, I also don't want to use Discord forever because Discord's poop.
yeah. Just letting everyone know, as soon as fucking Gilded adds like better screen sharing, I think I'm going to be leaving Discord, and I think a lot. of
Remember,
people will-
Discord's better. And that's all you
Oh,
need to
God.
know.
Something funny I talked about a while ago, I think with Brian, was that Discord hasn't changed its layout in like 2 years.
Mhm.
Like they kind of stopped changing Discord and updating
They made it
and
rounder, and that's it.
It's I'm really sick of looking at it.
The thing
I
is that a lot of
really-
those alternate like void stuff, they're like emulating that.
Both
I really
DM and CTF. See, I actually want to play a real game of CTF, but there's no servers
really-
hosting it, so we'd have to do that
We
ourselves.
really, I mean, we can though.
I can
thankfully.
host a dedicated one day, and we'll do that for a stream. But I want to stream this Arctic Sciences mod first.
Yeah.
Dreamteam.gg.
Does anybody want to give away for nothing right now? I don't have anything to give away, but you can potentially
away
win.
for nothing. You
all you have
could
to
win.
do-
like,
wait,
you know,
If you got the
a
Half-Life box,
screenshot?
you could have given away Half-Life.
why
Yeah,
would you
the
give
si-
that
yeah,
away?
I would give away the $800 Half-Life.
Here, let's
signed
talk
box.
about that. Why did people pay $800 for a box of Half-Life?
That's
Here,
signed. It's a
It has
signed.
signatures, but
Like a few weeks ago.
Wait, what?
Someone paid $1,000 for a boxed Half-Life.
Yeah, I know.
Not
And,
even
and this signed one was for less. They said people don't, eBay. Just on the slight tangent, you don't need to bid that much for Half-Life. You
well,
really
eBay
don't.
eBay is literally just like full of
Is
people
ruining
who have
game.
no idea.
eBay is ruining game prices.
Well, it not only is it ruining game prices, the site is just full of people who have no idea like what they're.
The whole bidding system
actually
is so
buying.
the whole bidding system is so outdated and broken that it leads to that problem.
So, Magic.
Yeah.
I'm in this Facebook group for collecting PC big box games, and there's this one dude who posts every single day asking for fucking several Half-Life big boxes that he just doesn't have.
Oh, I got
He wants to have
two.
all the Half-Life big boxes. And he keeps posting every fucking day. People like him are why you can't get a Half-Life big box for like $50. You had to pay like $400.
Yeah, no, I paid. Yeah, I got the big box. I got like just the big box without the inner sleeve for less than $100. I got it for like $50, and I got the big box in really good condition. It wasn't sealed, but just really good condition. That has the open sleeve with the Gordon face and everything. I got that for $65. I stole it from Alex actually.
Oh, yeah. Let
me just tell the box story real quick because it'll be related to this. So yeah, I had a big box copy of Half-Life, but it was sort of like pushed inwards and stuff, and I had to use a dryer to get it back into shape. But I wanted a big box that had the inner sleeve of Gordon and everything. And one day Alex links me to a listing. He's like, hey, there's this one here that's for auction. But it was an auction and buy it now. And the buy it now price was well within reason for me to get it because it just looks so good. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm probably going to buy this one like real soon. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I bought it. And then he messaged me like a few hours later. He's like, hey, some dude just fucking bought it. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Man, I got like a Half-Life big box for like $20-something. However, what I didn't know is that someone had glued the fucking gatefold shut.
Oh, see. Oh, and real quick before you say that was kind of mean of me, he took a sealed big box or like the sealed. I wouldn't say big box, but it was. He took a sealed big box of Blue Shift from me. Yeah, I linked him a listing of a sealed copy of Blue Shift for not even. It was like $35. Like
I'm pretty sure he broke the seal on it too.
Yeah, he did. He linked me. Like I saw it. I'm like, oh my god, it's sealed and it's really cheap. I'm probably gonna buy it. I linked it to him and it was gone. So he bought it like immediately. So I got him back.
Magic, how did you do vertex weighting again in Gold Source?
Vertex weighting is a part. It's a part of Zash.
Okay,
it literally exports the same as the source SMD.
I was gonna say because Fonz was just mentioning he can't do vertex weighting in Gold Source.
Yeah, you can't. Gold Source weighting is hard.
That is if you're doing a mocap face, just save you guys the effort and get vertex weighting into the game because you will need it.
You can add it to the client side if you really wanted to, but the reality is you're better off. The best way you're gonna do facial expressions is just to do skin groups. It's going to look more natural and be a lot less memory intensive. I'm just saying.
I think the way that came to mind for me is similar to how Gold Source does animation blending. They wanted to do something that would involve
the only problem
animations that were facial flexes.
The only problem is due to the model limits, you only get one blend. Even though there's 9-way blending. It's only really one way.
It would be really fucking terrible, like facial flexes, but it would be like open mouth and a.
Oh, it would work if you could do that, but you're already hitting a new limit.
Yeah,
that requires redoing the model format. So just
the point is, it's very hard to do that. To do facial stuff.
This is unrelated.
I want to state. I want to talk about another. That's not really a Shaft story, but it happened in the Shaft server and it was about Shaft. It was just such a good example of stupid people not listening.
Oh yeah, sure.
So in the Shaft server when we still had it up, someone came in and it was just like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna play the Shaft build," and it's just like, "Well, have fun with 2 maps." And he went on this tangent about, "No, Shaft's playable. I even asked Magic's brother because I'm friends with him."
What?
And I just mentioned Magic, and I'm just like, citation greatly needed. And Magic was just like, what? So the dude goes on to play Shaft, and he gets stuck on the second map.
The game past like 2016 was never fully like playable almost at all.
And he was just like, why did the mod end? And I just come in, and I'm just like, I did say enjoy your 2 maps.
Like we were doing stuff separately because we were trying to like keep focus. So we kept trying to like keep focus, and the only way to get ourselves to work on stuff was to do stuff that seemed really interesting. So a lot of the maps were like bits and bobs. The only chapter that was ever complete, I think, was Com Sen. And it's just because JC did it all by themselves, basically. Everything else was and that was the only chapter they completed because they also went to work on, in Deep, and well, and even so, when they were working on Shaft, they started doing the what's the map where the Gargantua was introduced, or what chapter?
Power up.
Power Up. They were doing Power Up, and that barely got anywhere. I remember they did it, and then the next day they were destroying it in Hammer. I remember because they were just they finished like the center area where you first see the Gargantua, and the next day they compiled a version where the map was like destroyed.
Yeah.
I really wish I could find a mapper for AZ because like towards the end I really got into the hang of figuring out like actual layouts of the maps and how it would have theoretically went. And a lot of the chapters, like the new office complex, new communication center,
I remember when you showed off the new office complex.
Landing field.
When we were both working on the sewer area, trying to figure out possible paths, I liked what you were doing with yours, but I still couldn't figure out a way to connect the box rooms together without it being, because they're all supposed to be on the same level, and it's like, how does this work?
It really is a fortunate trait.
It really needed someone who knew fucking just how to level design. It's just since we're hitting this new era of the community, all the people who have any experience with level design are gone.
They're gone. They're tired of working on Half-Life.
You know, just having children like, hey, I opened up Hammer once.
Remember the maps you got sent? Yes. Oh my god!
Yeah,
those maps.
Guys, let's go to Zen. Yeah, the metal box room.
Fun fact about Half-Life 1 beta minimalist. One of the maps. One of the maps is his.
Two of the maps.
The worst, some of the most unplayable
maps were from.
The most unplayable. They happen to be the most unplayable maps. There's one that ends with a firing squad that will kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't make those, by the way.
That wasn't modified, by the way. That map was put into the build unmodified. So all of the unplayability and madness was completely part of that map.
Someone sent that to me unironically, thinking that they could carry my entire mod.
Honestly, if I was in your shoes, I would have been like, you know what? Do it. Just to see if he could make an entire version of AZ, but it's just haunted.
Oh, that would have been wild.
You would have had a good build for April 1st.
And he sent me a map that was just a box with a bunch of props in it. And he wouldn't leave me alone. I told him no several times. And when I re-entered the looking for level designers so we can have like a level designer for a future project that's not even Half-Life related, it's not even Gold Source. He contacted me back. He contacted me back on a different message, and he changed his name and avatar, but he sent it before he did that because he was trying to pretend to be another person.
Evil.
Yeah.
Fucking change.
Scary young man.
He wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. I told him no, I'm not interested.
If only a real mapper had that willpower. He wanted to join AZ.
Fucking, you remember that one security complex? The dude who sent me that sent me a competent map. It's just, I don't think he knew how to use Gold Source worth a damn.
That's a problem, you know. Even a good level designer, you have to know how to use Gold Source, which is, you know, after this long, you think we would have Gold Source modding really down pat, and even to this day, it's still so funky.
Well, not that. Well, it's pretty well established. It's just most people aren't gonna put
it's well established, but it doesn't help that the game's so fucky.
Yeah.
We can't fix the game itself because we don't have open source.
It's another situation is that most mappers from Source rely on like displacements. And
exactly. Yeah.
But Gold Source, you got none of that. You have to rely solely on brushwork, which most of those mappers don't do with.
Most of those mappers have never had to make a brush chair.
Yeah.
Can they
made
even
a
make a
brush car
brushed
once.
chair?
You know how scary it is to make a brush chair?
You know how scary it is to brush out a chair.
I brushed out a car once.
Let me tell you something. There's a reason
brush my
why I
hair.
can. There's a reason why I'm a. If you ever tried to brush out,
Like, there's a
Don't make
few
brush props,
competent-
kids.
There's a few
I'm
competent-
gonna make some brush props for video game 1
Uh,
Video
and
game 1.
get fired.
Yeah.
so
out of a cannon.
there was a few competent mappers that applied that they were competent at source. But once again, they were demonstrating all these features that they're really good at, none of which was brush based.
Yeah.
All things you do with the source, which wouldn't help you.
That's a shame
I
too.
think the
because
main
they're probably
issue
really good,
is-
but
Even if somebody's really good at mapping, if you assign something like that to them and they don't have a weird amount of OCD and knowledge about original levels, then
Yeah.
you're not really going to have one-to-one recreations like you want.
yep.
Like, even somebody like me that is like, when I try to recreate a map like that, I try to get it so accurate that I spend like way too much time on one thing,
That's
and then I
the,
just give up and I'm like, I hate this. I'm never
Beta
doing this
mods
ever
are
again.
fucking.
That's kinda
Beta
the-
mods are
Where was
hard.
that brush NPC?
That's
I
like-
can't find the video.
Like the UV on this singular brush,
Don't talk
it
about.
doesn't line up with the
Yo,
screen.
Brian just fucking named the unholy creature the brush NPC. It was a big scientist brush that talked.
Oh no!
No, I don't know where it is. It's gone. It was on some Russian's channel, and it's
It was
definitely
an
gone now.
evil creature.
something
It
that
I
just,
want to see that.
I wanted
it
to
just-
bring up.
it just spoke.
What's
I wanted to bring up that it's also kind of why Chef died, and also Easy kind of is that the process of one-for-one recreating something with very little creative freedom is just not fun.
It is
At least
really
not for me.
not
You
fun.
you can
It's-
kind of
it's-
one-to-one things that already exist, like Office Complex, certain areas like where you don't have to do much but edit. But when it comes to like areas that you don't actually have, it's such a horrible process to try and make it
Mhm.
completely perfect.
Yeah.
I hate one-for-one recreating things.
Well-
that's why for my thing, I was just trying to go
Yeah.
somewhere else with it.
It's somewhat fun to do in spurts if you're like really into an art style or something. But
Yeah, but when you have to do an entire game, it's kind of dreadful.
yeah, hell is a really good term. Yeah, it is. It is hellish. It is why most beta mods probably have never really finished because people just don't really know the people don't. It's hard to expect the pain that comes with it because you do it for fun, and then suddenly you realize this has stopped being fun.
Mm-hmm.
This has stopped being fun when I had to do 7 more chapters.
I finally got C1A2 to a spot where I really like it. Okay,
why-
now time for 15 other maps.
That's why preliminary just comes and goes all the time. Because it's just I work on it in like a burst. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yep.
I got this thing in. It's really good. I like it. And I'm tired. I want to take a nap.
Yep.
And Jeff could save us all, but
Yeah, Jeff's
he's
never.
completely
never-
evil. and
Jeff
I
has
hate
joined
him.
the dark side. You know,
I'm
with the
never
Valve
gonna get.
suppository.
I'm never gonna get over how we did that. We fucking made him say,
We got-
"I don't know anything about the Valve suppository."
I gotta go.
When he smirked after saying that, he immediately knew.
He knew
And none of
what he
us
just
recorded it.
I'm
am
so sad
mad.
about that.
Somebody had
And
to-
Steam doesn't
some-
save podcasts.
Somebody had to have saved that. Like somebody had to have recorded that Steam like stream.
I swear I saw that clip.
Somebody saved it. I don't know. Hey, if you guys have found, if any of you guys know the whereabouts of a clip of where Jeff Keighley was talking on Steam, and at the very end, we got him to bring up the Valve suppository, send us a clip.
Oh, he's back. Okay, good. Discord locked up. That was weird.
Oh, did it?
Is he back?
Who?
No.
Wait.
Dead
Hold on.
Discord
Did this
locked up.
stream get saved on Twitch?
Huh?
might have.
I think he had a Game Awards stream on Twitch, and he was also doing it on Steam at the same time.
Well, the reason why he was doing it because I think of HLA, right?
Let me look up Half-Life Alex stream. No, that's
So
him
I
reading the
remember
first
seeing
feature.
the
We're
Valve
approaching
suppository clip.
2 hour 25.
Yeah, we got
I'm getting tired.
three.
Yeah,
three
we gotta start
hours
doing the
up
wrap
there.
up. I don't want to do 3
What the
hours.
fuck am I here? Oh, that's right here.
Damn it! No, it's yeah. We fucking got him to say the fucking Valve suppository. That
We'll
must
find
be so...
we'll find the clip. If anybody else can find that clip, send it to me. If not, we'll
Jeff
find
Keighley
it.
Q&A.
That's
50 minutes.
Okay, put it in the chat right now. We will end the stream.
This
as soon
is
as we
it.
can
This
find
is the
clip.
stream.
This is it. Oh my god, this is the one.
Let me find the end. Let me find the very end. Hopefully, I'll go to it. How long? At what timestamp was?
It was at the end.
Oh, we might have to watch the entire thing
Usually
sometime
have,
to
like, a
try
big
and
fan
find it.
audience and the public can come.
I don't know when it was.
I'm scrubbing through it right now.
Dad, you okay?
His computer's pissing.
And shitting.
Yeah, it's fizzling up.
Fucking Valve
Poor
suppository.
dog. Oh, this poor dog.
I
waiting to go
I
night.
just decided to connect via my phone
Okay.
Welcome, phone man.
because my PC
Hello,
decided to
you ready
ship
to go
back.
night?
Hello.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's home. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
5 nights.
I don't even remember what I was talking about before my fucking computer just. Oh yeah, I mean towards the end of AZ we got the fucking maps down pretty stat. It was just getting someone to fill in the blanks. Most of the competent mappers that we had was like C-Box applied, but he applied right before Christmas, and so I went on to Christmas break, and he like removed me on everything. So I was just like, well, he's not coming back for that. So
Dog.
I was just like, bailed out.
coming back. Coach
And,
Clifford.
the other one was someone who, in their description, was literally just like, "I'm only doing mods for portfolio work," and I'm just like,
I can't
"Fuck
find
you."
it, but here it is. We can find it somewhere.
We'll
It's
find
gotta be in
find
there.
it. I'll have the clip. Anyways, okay, so because it's getting late on everybody, we'll wrap up this first episode
Yep.
at 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Thanks, Happy.
Alright.
What the fuck was that?
That was
That was
happy.
Happy Face Man.
Oh, he's
Jesus.
just so happy right
Happy.
now.
Let me restart my
scared the
PC.
fuck
while I'm
out of
at it,
me.
Actually,
I'm glad he's okay.
We're glad he's okay.
He called that.
2 hours and 30 minutes later, he's okay.
I mean, he must be okay. That was the sound of an okay man.
All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this. First
Yeah.
podcast. I hope you enjoyed listening to
Um,
us. It had quite an okay amount of people viewing. It got up to 25 a few times, so that's not too bad. Hopefully, people watch it. Well, I guess we'll have to figure out what we talk about in the next episode. If we do a next episode.
Yeah.
Antarctica.
I
Yeah.
do love Antarctica.
So yeah, I hope everybody has a good evening,
Christmas.
Christmas evening, rest of the day.
Happy
Christmas.
New Year's. Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
New Year's. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Happy 4th of July.
Hanukkah.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Happy
Happy
Friday.
Anzac Day.
Have
Close
a
one.
shit.
And don't forget to get your pets spadered.
Yeah,
and
it
neutered.
should be next week.
Spadered
if
and
we,
neutered.
if I
Watch
get
your
the
balls.
time to stream it next week. Yeah, it'll be next week. All right,
Don't
Yep.
forget to wash your foreskin.
Thank you.
John. You know what? No, we're turning off streamer mode, and we're just gonna.
Gamer talk.
There you go. Just so y'all know, I took care of them.
Time to game.
Do you know who I am?
I'm Richard Nixon, and I really love RoboCop.
I